to figure this out, what this guy walked with.
It is.
I took videos of it.
When did he start this?
You took videos of when he walked out?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Now I'm confused. You said you fired him after 8 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before I told him that he could come and get his stuff, I took a video.
Hey, listen. Can you get us access to that video? Was this video taken right before your friend started, so we can see how much work this guy did? Good. We need you to send us the video. Meanwhile, Deputy Doc, you're pretty good at these. You want to give him a call and see what he has to say?
Sure.
All right. Hold on. Suze, 2 things. She's going to send us video of what work that guy did, and then Deputy Doc's going to call her and then call this guy. We got more coming up. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Time for plenty of calls at 303-7.
So wait till I get the video before I call him?
No, you can start calling. Okay. Broke again, Mark. It's back up now, but it broke again. Mark, can you take one of these? Yeah. Thank you. Which, how about Art Grant? Because I did one. Okay? So I'm going to do one, and then you do one, and then I'll do the last one, okay? Thank you.
On I-70, you have some volume westbound from Steel to Washington, but still pretty good speed. Off highway on the southeast side, there's a new accident at Brunswick Road in Hampton. The weather forecast, sunshine today with a 20% chance for showers after 2 o'clock today, a high of 80 degrees. Tonight mostly clear with a low of 49, and then tomorrow sunny and dry with a high of 78. Right now, is there any ramifications for putting if I just lean your house because you piss me off today?
You know, that's something I don't know. But there was.
You guys might have pointed out a loophole I never fucking thought of.
So come visit Glenn. But I think there was something about frivolous leaves pass. I think. Let's find out.
A treat for the rest of your body.
All right, Water Pros, as I told.
Find better systems, computerized and low maintenance, than Water Pros, whether it's softening in your home or a filtration or both. Now, purification alone for your whole house, under $2,000. Softening, under $2,000. You have combination systems, just over $3,000 for the whole house. Do you understand? Mark, you know this. Some companies charge how much for these systems?
$8,000.
Yeah, or more. Waterpros.net, the best. Waterpros.net. And that's 303-862-5554.
You ever try to get a price over the phone? You ever call up and say, how much is a new furnace? No one will give you a price over the phone. How about you call up an automobile shop and say, how much for an alternator? No one gives prices over the phones. The guys at theartofgranite.com, they'll give you an estimate on new countertops and new cabinets right over the phone. You take a couple pictures, you send them over to Mitch and the gang. You can get a price on that new kitchen right over the phone. And by the way, if you get the kitchen done, they'll throw the bathroom in for free. Theartofgranite.com, that is theartofgranite.com.
Hey, let's talk about investing. Now, you know, I don't believe in any one investment. You need a combination. And I love this part of your portfolio. It's called Become the Banker. It's actually a process. What you do, you get a small life insurance policy that allows you to save big money on top of it. And that grows tax-free. They call it tax-deferred, but it's tax-free if you follow the people at Become the Banker. They can teach you how to draw it out over your life and in retirement. Income for life. BecomeTheBanker.org for more information. BecomeTheBanker.org.
Hey, Colorado friend.
Employees. Good way of keeping employees. I pay half, they pay the other half. After 5 years, they then own it. I don't have to give the raises, just pay for that.
What is the cash value yours?
No, they're at the end of 5 years, I turn it, I release it to them. I take the ownership out and give it to them.
Did you see what the Treasury...
on the raise. I just pay for half the insurance.
Did you see what the Treasury's going to have the Mint make? Well, it's like a fucking joke, but it's real.
Vaccination.
$1 trillion coin. $1 trillion fucking coin. And I shit you not. That shows you how fake our fucking money is. Go print $1 trillion coin, please.
Yeah, but Janet Yellen's not gonna let him do it.
Well,
That's what she said.
they're fucking asking to do it
No,
right now.
Janet
Who's
Yellen-
asking for it? The feds.
Janet Yellen said, no way, no how.
Fucking $1 trillion.
Anyway, I left a message on his voicemail.
Tell me how fake our fucking money is when you just go print $1 trillion.
Well,
coin.
Biden just did a press conference.
And if I steal that motherfucker, do I have $1 trillion?
Yes.
Biden just did a news conference saying it's dangerous not to lift the debt ceiling. It's dangerous.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
He doesn't even know what it means. He's fucking dumb. You realize he didn't even know that deal with France?
What deal? Climate?
No. We were going to sell
Submarines?
Yeah, we had to deal with the submarines with these fucking guys. We 86'd it at the last minute. Biden didn't even know why France was mad at us. And John Kerry came out the other day and was trying to stand up for him. But in the same thing, acknowledged that Biden literally had no idea what was going on with France. I mean, and that's his buddy. When I go back to the coin, how do you just print $1 trillion coin?
What country just printed a
$1 trillion coin.
Who did?
No, they said that's how you can deal with this budget, with the deficit. If you mint a coin that's worth $1 trillion.
You're putting it into
Right.
circulation, theoretically.
It's no different than printing a dollar bill.
Right, no difference.
Yeah, I know, it's all...
But you know why they're doing it? Here's why they're doing it.
They want to deal with the deficit.
No, you know why they're doing it? Listen, to me, here's why they're doing it.
For a while.
Because then they can say that the $3 trillion infrastructure will not cause inflation.
No.
Because that coin's already in.
They're doing it because of the debt ceiling. They're saying if they don't strike a deal with raising it, they simply print it. It's fucking the dumbest thing. Go print $1 trillion coin. Hey, by the way, print me one. I mean, come on, $1 trillion coin? How are you going to get change for that? Where the fuck are you going to spend that? You going to go into 7-Eleven, buy a Slurpee?
You're going to spend it digitally, and you'll just get like 20 zeros in front of your piece.
After I sold my house, my first house a long time ago, we had a check for over $1 million. I went into the bank and I said, can I just have this in singles?
Can I cash this,
I
please?
said, I would like this in singles.
Doc,
And the teller sort of, she went like a deer in the headlights. She had no idea what to do.
I had a business partner once on one of my second computer stores in Parker, and before it even opened, he wanted out, and he only had 10,000 in it. I said, okay, no problem. I'll take a break.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. RealCBDThatWorks.com. If you have any pain or inflammation, you will thank me for this. It's so easy. RealCBDThatWorks.com. You go to Panacea Life Sciences, and then you put Tom in the promo code when you order, and you'll get 30% off. It's made right here in Colorado, from seed to sale, from growth to sale, and then they supply all over the country. Hey, let's talk. Now, Roger called yesterday, and he was really concerned about his foundation. And Roger got 3 quotes. And I remember talking about this because he was concerned. He didn't know what to do. And the quotes all seemed like to have reasonable methods. Like, like what should you use? And let me get it here, right here, an old needs foundation right here. It is, right here. And here's the thing. You had different kinds of bids, right? And one of them was from Colorado Structural Repair, right? And they're on a referral list. You said some of the systems you didn't understand. There were 3 methods that were given to you. Was the Steel Pier one of them?
It was called counter.
Well, one of them was a Steel Pier.
Oh yes. One was Steel Pier,
and one was a perpendicular wall, but you called it something else. A counter
port. Counter fort.
Okay, we'll get this from him. And then you said there was a carbon wall. that was going to kind of...
Carbon armor.
Yeah, carbon armor that was going to cover the wall, bolt into the wall, and reinforce it. So I wanted to get on Byron from Colorado Structural Repair. Hey, Byron, how are you? I haven't heard from you in years. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, Tom.
And I'm glad you're still around. And of course, Colorado Structural Repair is on referralist.com. And I want to know, I want you to explain, the Steel Pier is easy. What does that do? That goes down into bedrock?
Yeah, a steel pier goes down below a foundation, almost vertically down into bedrock. That's usually used for when a wall is vertically settling.
Okay.
The other two methods that he mentioned, the counterfort and the carbon fiber, is usually for a wall that tends to be bowing in or kind of cracking in the middle, something like that. What was the actual problem? What was the...
Right, his is bowing. His is bowing. Therefore, the pier would not be recommended. And this carbon wall, tell me what that looks like. Is that carbon fiber?
It's a carbon fiber. Now, everyone has their own kind of proprietary blend of it, but usually it's a carbon fiber or a carbon Kevlar strap system. Usually they're 4 to 8 inches wide. And they epoxy the carbon fiber strap essentially to the top, like to the entire wall. And then it ties the wall back together. We don't use a lot of them. It's only kind of, we end up using them when all our other systems fail, just because I've had them fail in the past because of the way they're applied to the actual concrete.
Okay.
And then a concrete counterfort is essentially it's an engineered solution for the same
And
problem.
what is that? Is that a perpendicular wall?
That is, yeah. You nailed it on the head. It's essentially a 4-foot long perpendicular wall that you install outside the house, and it essentially holds that wall out from bowing in. There's a couple of different ways in which they can be installed and the methods, but all the engineering's pretty much the same thing.
What one do you like for, let's say, his bowing wall?
Usually, here's the thing, a carbon fiber strap we tend to use as only the last resort, only because I get a lot of warranty calls on those jobs. So I don't, it's not something we like installing straight off the bat. And it's usually, these days we see a lot of it come from smaller contractors that don't have the machinery to do the bigger stuff. Frankly, building a counterfort outside your wall is a much better solution. But I'll be honest, mate, a lot of the time it's more expensive. So you've got to balance that up with the customer as well. And it depends on how long the wall is, how much access there is outside the wall between the property line and the house itself. Questions like that.
This is really good. Thank you, Byron. Roger, do you have any specific questions regarding your house? And they can look up your contract later. I don't know if you already have, Byron. I don't know if you looked up your estimate for him yet.
I haven't. I thought it was general questions.
Okay, no, it is general. It is general. Roger, do you have any questions?
Well, I was just trying to find a video or something to show me exactly how it's done, just like a carbon armor. They show
Does
me
your website have these things, animation or anything on your website?
I don't think on the counterforts we do, Roger, but I tell you what, I'm going to get your details after this call, and I'll have one of my guys on Mel in the office reach out and send you some documentation. And we've got some photos of these on other jobs and kind of give you a better visualization. Unfortunately, we don't have all the videos and the gimmicks. We tend to try to explain it on the spot, but yeah, would happily send you out some more details.
And when we say counter pour, are we saying counter pour as in pouring concrete?
Counter fort. Fort. F-O-R-T. Essentially, you're just building a perpendicular wing wall outside.
Counterfort, as in Fort Knox. Counterfort.
Yes.
Yeah. If you go online, Roger, you can see a lot of good pictures of this counterfort.
I don't get how it's applied. I can see the final pictures. So when you put the carbon on, how do you actually get rid of the bow? Do you get rid of the bow, then you apply the carbon so it holds?
No, like carbon fiber strapping would only be, it's only a Band-Aid, so it's only going to stop it from getting any worse.
I got you.
It won't pull it back.
I got you.
Yeah, I wouldn't, honestly, if you were straightening the wall, you'd want to dig outside the wall and then lift up the framing system, so you take the pressure off the top of the wall, and then you want to push the wall out from the inside.
Man, that's really hard stuff. Holy crap. I'm glad you're around to do it.
So right now it's approximately a half inch to quarter inch.
Yeah.
Has moved in.
So listen, Byron, hold on. And Robert, Suze is going to give Byron your information so he can look up your contract and call you directly. Colorado Structural Repair. They're on a referral list, referralist.com, 720-441-3611.
Isn't that cool? It's weird because it doesn't fix anything. It stops.
That carbon looks just like a Band-Aid. It's just to keep that thing from
It looks
falling.
like someone put electrical tape on there,
Just to
man.
keep it from falling apart.
But carbon
That's
fiber
all
and Kevlar, they make aircraft out of. Yeah, it's strong.
That's all. That's what to keep it from falling apart. The counterpart looks pretty good, but it does look serious to put in.
I'll tell you what, if I was looking at a house and saw that shit in the basement, I'd keep looking for a house.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did it on the outside, actually. I didn't know they did it on the inside.
Well, it depends on. I guess it depends on which way the wall is actually going.
It truly is just a strap.
Because I know when they get the foundation of our house, when we were out there, looking around and fooling around with it, and they actually put counterforts on the outside, of the base.
44 years straight. Ford Ranger, F-150 or Super Duty. These trucks
Didn't know what they were then. Now I know what they are.
Built Ford tough and priced to sell during truck month only at your local Ford stores.
As winter approaches, we're in this tween season. It's neither really cold or really hot. It's time to get your systems checked so you're not under the gun. When you get them checked and somebody suggests an expensive repair, you can always say, okay, give me a few days to shop around. That's why I love Fix It 24/7's $39 deal. You have nothing to lose. For $39 for new customers or customers that haven't had this done, they come out and completely take apart your system to the extent they can, and then they clean and adjust and put back together, and it's because dirt's the #1 killer. And then they make some final adjustments, and then you know that your system is ready to go for $39. And if you have any problems, you have time to think about it. FixMyHome.com. That's Fix It 24/7, 720-526-3939. Now, speaking of not being under pressure, let's talk about when you're in an accident. So many people just start asking people, what should I do? Whose fault? How much is it worth? And then they may even sign up with an attorney without even knowing if the attorney's any good. I've done the shopping for you, and I want to point out John Fuller, Fuller Law. Free legal advice. That's true. You call him and talk to him. Free legal advice with no obligation. He'll tell you about your case and what you should do, what he thinks you should do, how you can collect. And if you decide to hire him, it's on contingency. So get free legal advice when you need it the most. John Fuller, Fuller Law, 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. And look for John on our referral list at referral list.
Free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free meal delivery, free prescription. See, they make that Advantage plan sound perfect, but you know what? God, are you limited? And then if you want to go back to supplement, you're screwed. Because you got to qualify medically. He can't get back on a supplement. Right, Doc?
I was reading something.
Medicare Advantage.
Yeah.
Has really good benefits.
Yes.
0 deductibles, no copays, free drugs.
No. Oh, they want to make it that way, or
No,
now?
no. Some of them have it.
Some of the plans.
I don't know. My Advantage has some copays.
Oh, really?
No copays for PCP. $20 copay for
out of net.
No, for specialists.
Yeah.
And I think $75 for ER visits.
Okay, but what about drugs?
I have a drug plan.
Oh, I didn't. Well, this one, man, the one they're advertising there had like all the shizness, man, all on one price.
Well, It may be that you have to pay more for it than the plan I have.
But here's the bottom line: once you're on an advantage, you can't get a supplement.
No, here's the deal.
You got to qualify.
The first time that you apply for Medicare, if you choose supplement, they have to accept you.
Right.
They can't cherry pick. If you go Advantage, then any time after that you can apply for supplement, but they have the option to turn you down.
I know.
So that's it.
But that's a big deal.
No kidding, it's a big deal.
I mean, because it's kind of like you're stuck with Advantage.
Exactly. Well, it depends on what your health profile is.
Well, I know, but that's
if something changes, then
most of the time when you look for better coverage, it's when your profile is changing.
Right. So usually, it's when you're older, your profile's not going to change because they're basing on your history of high blood pressure or hypercholesterolemia or something, history of cancer. So they just turn you down for the supplement.
There's the suspect right there.
I'm surprised they're even showing it.
Oh, CNN won't show it.
Why? Well, remember, it wasn't a school shooter deal. It sounded like it was Yeah, that's what happens when you have no cops in school, by the way. So.
Well, I never had cops in schools.
Well,
of course, that was a different time.
That dude walked in with a fucking gun into that school. If they had a metal detector or a cop checking people, he wouldn't have been in.
You just changed your whole program.
If they had a cop in there that saw him with a gun, that boy would have been dead.
As it should be. You walk into school with a gun.
Crazy.
Walking in with a gun? Yes. I would like to see anyone walking in with a gun killed.
Shoot the fuck.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
That's what I'd like to see. If someone walked into my kid's school with a gun, I'd like to see him shot dead.
I hear what you're saying.
Wouldn't you?
Tell me why you wouldn't tell you.
I didn't say I wouldn't like to see him shot dead. I'm saying if he knew there was somebody in there with a gun, he wasn't going to walk in there with it in the first place.
But that's
actually, exactly. So is a goddamn
No, you're saying if this. We're saying if somebody walks in with a gun, you shoot the fucker.
He said if there's two. If there was a metal detector. See, everybody just loops it the way they want to loop it.
No, he's saying if there's a metal detector, he would have been able to be identified.
He wouldn't have got in.
He wouldn't have gotten in.
Unless he could sneak around it or
But
whatever.
once he's in, you shoot the motherfucker.
I'm telling you right now, if somebody wants to take a gun into a school, metal detectors, cops, or whatever the fuck ever, they're going to get it in.
Yeah, but they should have someone there that can shoot back. Whether it's a teacher or an officer that's been specially trained for a school, but someone should be there to shoot the fuck back. I thought we learned that fucking example in Columbine where no one did anything for hours.
Clearly you haven't learned it because there's a bit of...
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Now, I want to ask you to give us a call anytime, and we will put you right through. Now, we are getting to the top of the hour. We have another 2 hours to go. So please, if a problem is developing, let us know about it. And the biggest problems right now are all the same. I mean, the biggest problem, yes. Contractors. Contractors. That's our biggest problem right now. People paying contractors. The contractors either keeping the money and doing nothing, doing lousy work and walking off the job, or doing incorrect work. I mean, this is a big deal, people. I don't know, man. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, Kurt Rogers. Are there any loans for fixing up houses? You used to have a loan, or there used to be a loan, that they would take the condition of the house after improvements, project it, and then base a loan on that, and then escrow money for repairs. Do they still do that?
Yes.
What is it called?
The one's called a 203B, and the other one's called a rehab loan. One's conventional, one's FHA.
And how do they work?
FHA has two different types.
So somebody buys a house. They're listening right now, and you buy a house that's a little older. You want to fix it up. You don't have the cash, but you want to buy it.
Right. They'll give you up to $35,000 to do the minor repairs. They won't let you move walls or add rooms, but minor repairs, flooring, cabinets,
as long as the finished product appraises.
Right. And they, like you said, they will appraise the house finished and give you the loan amount against the finished home, not against what for you buy a house.
How do they make sure that the person makes the repairs?
Because the money is escrowed from the beginning in the loan, and the person has to be a licensed contractor. You have to have
hire
insurance.
one.
Yeah, you have to
The
have
buyer doesn't have
The
to.
buyer can't do it. No.
Okay, now, if the buyer is a licensed contract, can a buyer do it?
They can't manage their own property.
Okay, now
They have
next
to get
question.
somebody else to do it.
It's only up to 35 grand?
That's on what we call the 203 S. The big one, you can do $150,000. You can move walls.
Which one is that?
It's you can pop the top off and.
Which one is that?
That's conventional does it. It's called a rehab loan, or FHA does it.
So how does a rehab or FHA loan work?
Pretty much the same way. What they'll do is they'll give you the loan amount and set it up
based on the finished product.
Based on the finished product.
So if that house would only appraise for $250 now, but if you get the work done $350,
right,
they will appraise on the $350.
Yes.
And then you take the loan, they put the money in escrow, and you get to fix it up.
Right, there's a time frame that the contractor has to meet on different deadlines throughout the process, so they don't get to drag it out.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Do a lot of people do that?
Very few, because very few people know about it.
All right, we got more.
That is cool. That is a really, really cool loan.
Hello, I'm consumer advocate. You know the expert I call for roofing advice is Excel Roofing, the first roof.
So you see what's going on in Chicago now? The mayor is fighting with the chief prosecutor.
Oh, it's the best.
Right.
So listen to this, man. A true gang fight. People shot up and everything. The fucking DA lets them all go. No fucking charges.
Well, because both were fighting and shooting.
I guess so. I don't even know what the fucking the deal is. No, they were arrested. Like it's not.
So what happened then?
Then Lightfoot, who's the mayor, said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right. Oh, so Lightfoot won.
Yeah, exactly. The same one, the same woman that didn't give a shit.
Right.
6 months ago.
Right.
Oh,
so
they sway like this.
Yeah, but at least she's swaying in the right direction.
Fucking Democrats, man. It's like this. Like this, it's wherever the public opinion is where their fucking ass is.
Is the governor Republican or Democrat? Because he said he may step in.
I have no idea.
The governor of Illinois.
So the mayor said, "Why didn't you prosecute?" What did the DA say?
She said we don't have a good case.
And the governor might step in.
They even had. Listen to this. There's video. They don't have a good case. There's literally video of one shooting the other. How do you even fucking say that shit with a straight face? Here's what pisses me off. If I'm doing 8 miles an hour over, they'll give me a speeding ticket.
Right.
How about the dude that shoplifted? Did you see that one? That was the best over the weekend. He shoplifted in the past, for months.
48 times.
48 fucking times.
48 fucking times. I think he's also undocumented.
It's unbelievable. 48 times.
They called him the Man of Steel.
The Man of Steel. He's been arrested. When I say arrested, they pick him up and they let him go.
Right.
And that's it. Literally nothing else. And he keeps going right back to the same store.
Mark, did you tell them about the Corvette Nazi?
Oh wait.
Oh yeah.
Did you get a picture of it? The Corvette. It didn't
download
to my phone.
Yeah.
Is this newer than the new one?
Yeah, it's a brand new C6.
What is it?
The Z06.
No, the Z06. Yeah. Oh my God.
The lady was like, "You can't be taking pictures of the Corvette."
I
Mark's
never
like,
laughed so
"Yeah, right."
I said, "Yeah, right."
Mark,
I can't take pictures
Mark,
in public.
Is it good?
It's all under wraps. I mean, it's under camo.
Oh, you couldn't see it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gorgeous.
It's just the paint is camo.
The wheels are
You've
cool.
seen when they're like that.
How much are they?
And the wheels are like black.
How much are they?
No idea. I know nothing about them. We just happened upon them. The security officer came out.
I have a lady selling in 2019. She's retired, needs a nursing home, so she has to sell it. It's got 10,000 miles on it.
She should be able to sell good.
Oh, yeah, not a problem.
She should be able to sell good.
Oh.
Target says it will pay workers an extra $2 an hour during the peak days of the holiday shopping season.
Ooh, yeah. The McDonald's in Casserets, $25 an hour. Can you fucking believe it? $25 an hour. Our local pizza joint is called Mod Pizza. They're actually pretty good. Yeah, you can pick whatever. I mean, basically, you pay for the size. So, let's say it's a smaller medium. And then you can put whatever you want. Yeah, a la carte. You just pick, man, like a Subway, but there's no limit. They were closed a couple Saturdays ago because they didn't have enough employees there. God bless, man. This recession or this inflation is going to be just massive. Bacon. We were at Sam's Club the other day. $21 for 3 pounds of bacon. That's Sam's Club too, man. You go to like King's or Walmart, it's $8, $9 a fucking pound.
I'm digging up my yard, making the garden.
It's crazy. I don't even understand why pork. I don't even get the supply chain. We're not bringing pork in from China. I mean, why are we having an issue with pork? I just don't understand it.
Because we can.
I guess so.
Yeah, because we can. We have an issue with everything because we can. When somebody's pocket is getting stuffed, there will be an issue.
It's nuts, man. I mean, I even get it coming overseas and the containers are all backed up and all this shit, labor and just supply chain. Fucking ships getting stuck in the middle of the fucking
because those things are real, because those things are realities and they're actually happening. The rest of the shit is just getting tossed on top because they can.
California is starting, I think, next year, 2023. You have to raise pigs. The only bacon or the only pork they can sell has to be raised a certain way, or else the stores can't sell it there. And like each pig has to have like 6 feet of its own space. I mean, it's the craziest shit you ever read. Pigs.
They like being close.
Yeah, really, really do. And rooting in the same mud.
They like community.
Yeah, I know. You ever heard the saying, happier than a pig in shit?
Mm-hmm. If they're happy.
It's just amazing to me. I mean, it's like, what the fuck?
It's ludicrous. Some of the stuff makes no sense at all. Come on now. Some of it makes no sense at all.
It's crazy. I can't wait for the midterm.
I was watching something on MSN the other day about a school board. I think it was
Sip and save
in
at
Minnesota.
Circle K with their new drink subscription.
A woman was complaining about 2 books that were in the library. And both of them talked about a very visual description of a 14-year-old boy having oral or sex with a 30-year-old man.
Well, that's pretty fucking weird.
And the school board thought it was okay because they're high school students. And the woman said, it's flipping against the law.
Exactly.
What books were they?
They were just books in the library the kids could check out.
That's fucking crazy.
How do you put a book out there it's talking about breaking the law?
I have no idea.
Pedophiles. How do you do that?
Where do you find a publisher that's that bold that stays in business?
Well, they were trying to protect the other side, supposedly.
What's the other side? What's it called? Mamba? Mambla?
LGBTQI.
Oh.
Alphabet soup.
I mean, the North American Boy Love Association.
Did you see that brewery name I sent? Fuck, that was funny. I sent it to you too, man.
Where?
Okay, look at this. I'll show you.
Email. Where did you send it?
So, we stopped to get a beer at this brewery. This shit's unbelievable. You can't make this shit up.
Oh, I saw it. I didn't believe it. I was reading it and didn't believe what you were talking about.
Look at this shit, Kurt. I'm not even going to tell you. Just look at the name of the Mexican lager beer. It's about midway.
Copperhead?
No, keep going. You
Go
can.
for him.
Keep going. This is real. This is right down the road.
What, villain?
Next hour. After Copperhead.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, and to take complaints and to make your life a little easier. And have I mentioned waterpros.net? The best for the least amount of money. Computerized, low maintenance, water purification and softening. Nowadays, everybody needs it. Waterpros.net for the whole house. And I mean everybody needs it. Water you can't trust anymore, damn it. I haven't bought bottled water since I put my system in. Now, speaking of,
did you see that? Go ahead. Did you see that brewery menu I sent you yesterday to Brewery
Can you
Suzanne
say
and I
it?
are at.
What parts did you think were politically incorrect?
Okay.
It's a real brewery.
No, it's right down the road. I'm not going to say who it is, but the one that I couldn't believe it was
Can you
there.
read them on the air?
Well, I could read all of them, but I mean
they're
most
not
of them,
anything like, you know.
Here, a lot of people that go to breweries have heard of this one, Tragic Hipster. It's a New England-style IPA. Sucker Punch Sour. It is a sour
So none of
ale.
those are politically incorrect.
No. So, listen, Copperhead. That's a Marzan. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And then this one, ready? Deadbeat. It's a dark Mexican lager.
Oh, my God.
When I saw that on the menu, I was like,
wait,
Tom.
they said that on the menu?
It's
Yeah,
right there.
but their beers are so good. I've not had that one, but man.
Oh, my God.
I couldn't believe it. I'm looking at that. I'm going, now, here's what I think. I don't think they really thought that out. Do you?
Of course they didn't. Or they thought they were being funny.
I don't know.
Well, I don't think it was meant to be funny.
I don't think someone was
going to see
thinking.
that. Did you say the name of the brewery, Mark?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Don't.
Oh, my goodness. And then blonde apples. Well, that's not blonde apple seeds.
No, that's the only one that sticks
Sour is
out.
the
Deadbeat
best.
is the dark Mexican lager. It's like, what?
And that's about as rude as you can
Bud.
Can you believe it, though, in this day and age? That's
anyway,
right up there.
So you were going to talk about, Mark, a discrepancy in COVID tests. What was it?
Yeah, so the Hormone Bros, we went there this morning to get our testosterone blood drawn.
Yeah.
So we're there, and they took their employees to Arizona, like 37 of them, spouses and everything, to celebrate a great year, good time.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it was really nice of those guys. So one of the employees' husband was sick, so they go out and get tested, a rapid test for COVID. This is right before they left, like the day before. His test comes back positive. Within an hour, Tom, the CDC is calling them at home, saying, hey, we know you are on the...
Now, you told us that. Then you said something was weird.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's weird. So he sat there.
He was on a no-fly list.
They were going to put him on a no-fly list. Within an hour, they figured out these people had airline tickets and were going to be flying. They said, send us the cancellation or we're putting you on the no-fly zone. While they were getting the rapid test, the person giving it to him said, hey, these aren't positive all the time, meaning they don't work properly all the time, so we're going to take a blood test too, and we'll get back to you in a couple days with those results. So as you know, the rapid test comes back positive. They can't go on the trip. They're threatened to be put on the no-fly list.
Yeah.
The blood test comes back negative.
Wait a minute. How can one be positive and one
Because the rapid test, I guess, have a pretty high failure rate.
So are they still... Okay, what's that? There are a lot of false negatives?
No, I didn't say a lot, but any test.
Any test, there's a lot of false negatives, or can be.
Any lab test has some false positives and some false negatives.
So they ended
which
up
one are
not
they
being
gonna
able
use?
to go, threatened to be put on the no-fly list for virtually nothing. But the scary part to me was the CDC, within 45 minutes, figured out they had airline tickets somewhere. It's not like they shared that info. It's incredible. It's oh, man, it's really getting bad out there. I mean, it is, man. And then what'd you think of this Facebook deal, by the way, this whistleblower that came out and said that Instagram is, pitting...
Hold on, let's talk about that. But first, Greg. Go ahead, Greg. What do you have to say?
Well, my comment is we've all got to get shots. We've got to show proof that we have shots to go anywhere.
Right.
I'm just thinking, well, the Democrats are all against people having proof of identity to get votes, to go vote. So what's the difference between having to show that you've had the vaccination and then you have proof that you are who you are to go vote? What's the difference? I mean, where are the Democrats standing up, raising heck about us having to get vaccinated and show proof? I don't understand the system. I mean, it's weird.
I agree. It's weird. So what the hell? Here's what I don't know. There's a lot of hypocrisy. They say with the vaccine, you still have to do masks with the vaccine. So, and yet you're not, I don't know. You're supposed to be protected, but you can still infect others. Then why, when someone vaccinated gets infected, do they blame the unvaccinated? Because
that was our vice president, too. That's not someone.
But we truly, truly, truly can be infected by anyone. Here's the truth. And I'm not the only one that's going to speak the truth. See, I swear to God, because they all have an angle. Unvaccinated can infect people. So can vaccinated. We both can carry it. Now, who can get infected? Unvaccinated and vaccinated. More likely.
You're forgetting natural immunity.
Hold on. But first I'm talking vaccination. More than likely, unvaccinated can get infected faster or easier because of the vaccination that does provide some protection. Now, I'm not talking about any side effects or other things. It does provide protection. That has been proven. It does provide. Is it perfect protection? No, but it does provide some protection. And by stats, it also has less lethal cases with the vaccine. No, but some people do still die. But again, those people who die are those who are highest at risk. So that's really the truth.
But even with the vaccine, those people are tending not to die now. They have a much better shot if they were vaccinated.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, they do. There is a better mortality rate, or worse mortality rate, however you look at it, less people dying with the vaccine, less people getting infected with the vaccine, and less people getting critically ill with the vaccine. We know that. Okay, really, that's not a fight. Now, whether you want... Now, hold on, folks. I'm not promoting and saying you better do it, because some people don't want it. Okay, fine, because of the side effects or the other things. That's up to you. I don't think there should be a mandate. I chose to do it and take my chances. Now, when it comes to unvaccinated, you can infect people just like a vaccinated person. So I don't like people blaming unvaccinated people for infecting others. I think it's stupid and it's illogical. It really is. Is this a new comment, Greg? Greg, are you a new comment?
Same comment.
Oh, same comment. Never mind. Okay. So do you have anything additional, Greg? If not, do you have anything else to say, Greg?
It's just my point is we have to show proof that we've got it.
Right.
So when you go vote, they say it's wrong that you have to show proof who you are when you go vote. I mean... Oh,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous that we have to show proof. Go to a restaurant nowadays that you have a vaccination card. That, they don't care about...
Hey, can you imagine if they make you have a vax card to vote because you're going to contaminate the voting machines? How about that? That would guarantee Democrats every time. If you had to have a vax card to vote?
No, actually, some of the... if you look at the numbers, who's not getting the vaccination, a lot of them might consider Democrats.
No, I understand that. There are some. There are more, from what I read, there are more conservatives not getting it than progressives.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, maybe not. That's what I thought I read.
You know what irritated me is we had really high hospital numbers like a month ago, and they were saying, oh, we're going to get overrun again, and all these new COVID cases coming out. Do you realize all the asymptomatic people that were showing up to the hospital with like a broken bone from softball or something, some ailment other than COVID, they automatically test you, and then if you do have COVID, even if you're asymptomatic, they say you went to the hospital for COVID, even though you didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, got it. All right, 303-713-8255. Problems, questions, complaints. We'll get to your calls right after this. Suze, tell them to hold on. We'll get right to them.
Convolution is convolution. It's all inside out. Nobody has...
Okay, melanotan. Melanotan.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, who is this?
This is Melissa calling from Extended Stays in the corporate office. You have left me a message.
Oh, yeah, hold on 1 second, please.
88% of Democrats are vaccinated, 55%
Yes.
60%.
Thank you. We're on the air, so I'm just walking out of the
Where are you
studio.
getting that, though? So let's talk about
RV. Century RV for your new or used RV. You know what? This is something that is really still in good supply. Used RVs at CenturyRV.com, also new RVs. And they're building a new facility to make sure they have all the parts to service. In fact, while everyone is raising prices, Century RV still has incredible prices. Go up to exit 240 and I-25. That's the turnoff to Longmont. That's where they are along Frontage Road. CENTURY, CentryRV.com. Now, let's talk about waterpros.net. The people I tell you will be wonderful for your water system. I can't say enough about them. Waterpros.net. That's waterpros.net. And I'm going to give you the number. If you want the cheapest, I don't mean like cheap as in bad. I mean the best quality, highest value, and lowest price. I mean a third or less than the other companies. 303-862-5554. 862-5554. Water Pros.
Hey, listen.
I can't even find any numbers.
This was came across on NBC News poll shows demographics.
Mark, can you help me out with that email I sent you?
Yeah,
NBCnews.com, Mark. NBCnews.com.
Whoa. Have subfloors that have been glued on for ceramic and hardwood.
I typed in my line.
What are they
They're
trying?
remodeling.
Which political party is more likely?
I can ask
to
him
pass-
questions.
that's
It's
what
all
I
in the
typed
text.
Yeah, what do they want done? They want someone to remove the glued on ceramic.
88.
Oh, that's good.
I know convolution is convolution. If you're going to mix the Kool-Aid and you're going to mix all the flavors, it's just going to be fine.
What makes the country so great? We get to mix all the colors together. Yeah. All the things. It's to make it work.
And like the punch, okay? You're supposed to like the punch when you do that, okay?
I don't have to agree with you, but we got to still stay friends.
And we like the punch. It's good.
Oh, it has been removed. Unbelievable. They got
Yeah. Quit with it. I'm right, you're wrong. I get to shoot you. Stop it.
My argument is if you're going to give me a binary argument, I'm
Okay,
not
I
gonna
asked.
talk with
Hang
you.
on.
I'm just not going to have a conversation.
I don't need it.
If you're telling me left, right, red, blue, Dem, Republican, I'm not listening to you. Why? Because your label screws your whole conversation. Even Mark, I don't even agree with him.
I wish I could find like real numbers, guys. Like CDC numbers, I know who's not getting that.
Yeah, that's what I tried to figure out.
But I found one site and it was shut down. I don't care about a poll. I get you on the poll. If people ask me, I tell them I didn't get vaxxed. How's that? And I got vaxxed.
You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell. Schedule an appointment with one of
Yeah, it was a
Cordell's
poll.
Colorado area attorneys. 8101 East Prentice Avenue.
Hard problem.
You know the CDC has the fucking info.
Yeah, but is it true? All right, so that was corporate from the.
I don't know, man.
I'm really
We had a
serious
problem
about
with
you.
extended stay in America.
That was the last one I couldn't believe.
Oh, good.
They came back, wear a mask next minute, I don't have to.
So hopefully we'll have
I
some
don't have
answers.
Okay, now I gotta wear 2 masks.
Stop.
Leave me alone. I don't like being called an idiot because I don't agree with you.
And let's not forget, the original anti-vaxxer is our president now. Oh, I'd never take a vaccine that Trump made. He rushed that through.
Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by DuckDuckGo.
Avalanche goaltender Pavel Francouz suffered a lower body injury in yesterday's preseason loss to the Golden Knights, but Coach Jared Bednar said it wasn't his surgical.
So Kurt and I agreed to disagree on the vaccine.
Yes, we did.
About what?
That's okay. That's why we live in the United
That's
States.
right.
We get to do that right now.
Okay, who had which side?
We're not gonna revisit it.
Okay, I'm good.
What is it that makes
All right, why
Let's just say I'm pro, he's anti. Leave it at that.
I don't think that's any of their business. And
binary
frankly,
to me, I
it
ain't
shouldn't be
listening.
the business of
I said that's binary to me, I ain't listening.
your privacy
I'm
online
pro, he's anti.
for free with DuckDuckGo.
It is so weird they want people to get the vaccine to protect the vaccinated. It's the damnedest thing.
Mark, if you listen to what people are saying, the rationale and the reasoning and the logic, it fails.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Did you want to say something, Kurt? We're talking about the different kinds of loans available for fixing up houses, which is really cool. You can actually take out a loan, and you can they appraise the house based on the finished product, and they put the money in escrow for you to fix it up. And even FHA has one. He has them at Affordable Interest Mortgage. He also has, of course, the liquid loan, which we can talk about. Ken, you have something to say. We were talking about vaccines and infections and face masks and all that. Again, this show is unlike others that we're not telling people what to do, and we're not telling people they're crazy for thinking what they're thinking, but the facts are the facts. And people who say the vaccine doesn't have any benefit, it's not true. And it just does have some benefit. And whether or not you want to take the other risks, that's up to you. But how about you? What's your perspective?
Yeah, so I'm getting over COVID right now, and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks in the ICU.
How old are you, Ken? Ken, how old are you?
I'm 52. I'm very healthy. Exercise a lot. But, you know, when I first went in there, they asked if we had been vaccinated, and I had not. And we were treated completely different.
Now, you were not? Hold on. So you had not been vaccinated?
No, I had not been vaccinated.
And you're saying they treated you differently. How?
They pretty much talked down to us like a child. So my wife got sick as well, and she went to the ER with me on the first initial time we had to go in. But we were, again, I went home with oxygen. It got worse over that night. So I went back the next day, and they admitted me into the hospital. So when I talked to the doctors about, you know, being vaccinated or not, 3 out of the 4 doctors that worked with me while I was in there for 2 weeks, all got COVID. And 3 out of the 4.
And they were vaccinated.
All 4 were vaccinated. And then also, they, you know, they differ on opinion. So, you know, now that I have it, one said, hey, in a month, get vaccinated, if that's what you want to do. One said 3 months, and another one said 10 months. And
Ken, hold on. Yeah. Did you know those who had measles and mumps never got vaccinated for them? Because they had natural antibodies?
Right, and so the last doctor that checked me out, he said, Ken, you have more antibodies than any vaccine could ever give you. And the vaccine, the reason, all 4 doctors told me the same thing, so I feel comfortable saying this. But the vaccine is to really to help reduce the chances of getting pneumonia.
Yes, and it also helps. Do you think if you had the vaccine, you would have stayed out of the hospital, possibly?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you know, they all said, hey, it just treats everybody differently. There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, if somebody, but see, this is where you and I will disagree a little, Ken. When people say I'm very healthy and I exercise a lot, I don't know if you are, Ken, because most people don't know what health is and what it looks like. I'll ask you a few questions. If you have any extra poundage at all or anything around the midsection, you're not truly a picture of health. Or if you have high glucose values, if you eat carbohydrates excessively or even more than moderately, you are not healthy. If you have any internal inflammation, and when was the last time people get inflammation markers done? I get them done every 3 months. Most people never know what their inflammation markers are. What about their coenzymes? What about their hormones? I know, listen, and I'm not talking to you, Ken, but I know there are so many people, and I love when I hear this, they were the picture of health, and COVID did them in. Here's what I'm telling you. If COVID did you in, you are not the picture of health. It's that simple. Now, COVID will make people sick. I'm not saying I don't want to get sick. I don't care. I'm not bragging. I'm not tempting fate. But what I'm saying is people who think they're a picture of health, they're not necessarily a picture of health. Most people are walking around with endothelium disease, with inflammation, with cardiovascular disease, and they don't even know it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Just because you walk around and you feel good doesn't mean you're healthy.
That's right.
So there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about too. When I was in the ICU, they told me I'd be there 6 weeks. Typically, it's a 6-week time period.
What did they treat you with? What did they treat you with? Remesvin? What's that one, Doc? Rezemivir. I don't know how to pronounce it. Well, get the microphone, Doc. What did they treat you?
I think it's Rezemivir.
Rezemivir. Okay. Did they treat you with that, Ken?
They did. A very dangerous drug. It elevated my kidney and liver numbers.
Well, all drugs elevate numbers. All drugs do, but not dangerously necessarily. But hold on. Did they give you vitamin D?
I was taking that. Before I went in, I took the regimen of vitamins that I was already on and took them with me into the hospital.
How many D units a day were you taking?
I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't.
How many C's and how many? Do you know how much zinc or anything like that?
The zinc, I think, is either 60 or 90 a day.
Yeah, okay, that's not bad. 100, 110 would be good. And I'm not prescribing. I'm saying that's what's good for me. And I do crazy gobs of C, and I do about a total of 10,000 D.
Did they give you plasma from people who recovered?
No, so that's one thing too. I didn't qualify for it. So when you do that, you have to have certain markers that qualify you. So I have a daughter that was cancer survivor so far. It's 2.5 years of chemo, and she got it.
Hey, tell me, Ken, were you afraid? Were you afraid?
After about 5 days in, they had me on oxygen at 60. And yeah, I was a little scared. I just said, "Hey, what are my chances?" And they kept saying, "Hey, you'll be fine."
Do you have any lingering effects?
Yeah, so I've still lost my taste, but I found over the past 3 days that if I eat an atomic fireball candy, cinnamon candy, hot, I can after about 15 minutes after I eat dinner or lunch, and I can taste every bit of food. It's not a cure. It goes back to not tasting.
Listen, man.
I need this guy's number.
Did they send you home on oxygen?
Yes. No, not the first. The first time.
No, now. After the ICU, are you on home oxygen now?
I am, but I have a really good comment on that. So
how much oxygen?
Hold on. What's your comment on it?
So after 9 days in the ICU, I was still at 50 of oxygen, and so I'm like, well, my numbers have plateaued for 4 days. I feel much better, so I tried to turn it. I just turned it down. So I worked it down to 20 that day and maintained the numbers.
What are you right now? What are you at right now?
I'm half and half off and half on.
What's your O2 sat? That's the key.
Well, if sitting down, it's 95, 96.
Okay.
Walking around, like we went to a store yesterday, and I maintained 90 the entire time.
Okay,
so,
but Ken,
that's okay.
Ken, tell me something. What have you learned? Real quick, what have you learned?
I don't trust people still. So the hospital wanted me there 6 weeks. They kept telling me that all up until I started turning down my oxygen. In 2.5 days, I got my oxygen level down to 2 myself. And the nurses yelled at me, but I'm like, you're driving me crazy here in the hospital. I've lost 25 pounds, and it's almost all
but Ken, when you say you don't trust people, obviously those caretakers, those medical people wanted you to get better, right?
They want to do the best for me. I don't think they want to keep me out of the hospital. When I was in the ER the first time, if they would have given me ivermectin or whatever, I'd have been out. So the last comment I want to make really quick, my doctor that released me prescribed me ivermectin. And he said he was super happy. He sent me an email that talked about India the last 6 months. They've been on that for 6 months.
I know. Listen, I know doctors who I'm not going to talk about right now. Their names, shall remain nameless. Not one of their patients, not one, was hospitalized or was sick more than 2 days after taking ivermectin. And I'm not saying. I'm not telling people to take it.
Tom, this is really important. So he came back an hour later and said, "Hey, CVS, Walgreens will not fill it. They're not allowing people to get it." So I called when I got released that day. I called Walgreens, and they said that they were not releasing it to people. And so my nurse called me and said, "Hey, what did they send you home on?" I said nothing. They questioned that, and I said, "Except ivermectin." Well, she got it through somehow. So I went and picked it up. My wife had a prescription.
Good.
Yeah, well, my wife had a prescription 4 days. So I took it in. 4 hours later, they told me that the insurance had denied it. You want to pay full price.
How much was full price?
I said, that's $98. And I said, that's really
Well, did you pay it?
I just picked mine up. Well, no, because I told the girl, I said, why would my insurance deny mine or give me mine and not my wife? And she hummed for 3 seconds and said, "Oh, it went through."
So how did your wife do on ivermectin?
She was already on the back side of everything, so we're just saving it at home in case we need it. The ivermectin, when I took it, after 3 days, lungs totally opened up, felt great.
All right, Ken, thank you for your perspective. Michael, I got to take a break. Can you hang on and talk about, you're a millennial, you want to talk about mandates? Can you hold on?
Absolutely.
All right, hang on, bro. We got...
You know, it's nice to have a discussion without, like, everyone taking a fucking political stand. Yeah. Just talk about how did you do, how did they do, how did they do.
He's got that weird theory, though.
Who?
That guy.
What is his theory?
Well, he's basically saying
they wanted to keep him in the hospital.
Yeah, why treat mental confusion if you own the facility? I mean, that's what he's saying. You know, I don't get it. He's saying, why would they want to treat? Why would they want to treat me if they're the ones charging me?
Right.
He's saying they're...
But believe it or not...
How much do you want to bet that CNN will not show a perp walk or a picture of it?
Oh, I bet you that easily. I bet you that. Okay. You give them too little credit. And just because you're saying just because he's black, they're not going to show him. That's no way.
You think they'll show him?
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, we'll see.
They've already shown it.
Yeah. CNN did?
Fox did. Oh, Fox did, yeah.
Fox couldn't get it on fence.
I know. I know. I know.
So, you know, Mark,
all right, listen, let's talk, since we're talking about loans, let's
talk about reverse loans again. You know, I think they're a useful tool for many people. Approval Reverse is one of the lenders that we approve of, approvalreverse.com, 303-771-3528. If you're 62 or older, you have equity, there's a way to manage that equity and collect it, never lose your home. And in fact, your estate will never go beyond what the house is worth. And very seldom does that even happen. There's always seems to be money left over because homes appreciate much faster. Approval Reverse for tapping the equity in your home, tax-free. 303-771-3528. BlakeHarrisLaw.com will answer your questions about estate planning. You know, I love when an attorney does that. He does it on TikTok even. If you want him to answer your question, just call him 833-ASK-BLAKE. That's 833-ASK-BLAKE. Whether you need a will, a trust, a payable on death certificate, or anything else having to do with estate planning, call him 833-ASK-BLAKE.
The Sharpest Rides in Englewood wants to keep you safe and worry-free during these times, which is why they are making car buying easier than ever right from your home. You can pick out your car right from the Sharpest Rides website, get credit approved, finance, and they will literally drive...
I always looked at string cheese as cheap shit.
Do you think that guy was conspiracy-minded?
Great, man.
Yes, it tastes great. You want some?
What?
String cheese?
Oh, yeah. Love string cheese.
You want a piece of cheddar, too, or just string?
Hey, bring me a couple of pieces of both.
Doc, you want something?
I'll take a string cheese.
Yeah. I grew up on string cheese.
Turns out
And Tuesday, he swears there's something in the virus.
Who?
Tuesday, one of these guys in here.
I don't swear to it.
YouTube.
I don't swear to it. I don't trust it, but I don't swear to it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's a lie. The whole story about how it got here is a lie. So how do you carry the truth after that?
Well, I stopped believing I stopped believing the lies when they told me it was a green monkey.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that day. Oh, I agree.
I said, hey man, it's really, really crazy. If you can't listen to this stuff and then process it yourself, you're just screwed. Okay?
You got to learn to figure it out on your own.
That's what I'm saying. If you can't hear it and then process it yourself, you got to come to some. You have to come to some logic that works.
My favorite beer ever.
I didn't say the name.
Ken,
Yes.
what am I doing? Alicia called. She sent us the video. She sent us the contract. Am I supposed to get her back in queue? She's the one with the big...
I'm waiting to talk to the guy.
Okay, so you're calling her back.
Yeah.
All right.
Tell her I left a message.
What do you think of that fucking
Alicia,
beer
he's still waiting to hear
You
back.
think- You think they did that? Someone did that shit on purpose?
After he
Someone
talks
did
to
that
the
shit
contractor.
definitely on purpose.
Okay?
When I saw that
We
up
have
there,
your emails, and
I
we're
had to
going
do a
to
double
expose
take,
after
'cause it-
Deputy Ken talks to the contractor, okay?
fucked up.
Yeah, it couldn't have been that could not have been an accident, Mark.
That deadbeat. It is funny though.
It's funny, but it's as inappropriate.
It's so inappropriate because they have the best beer ever.
Deadbeat. The dark Mexican
You
lager.
like sour beers? Holy cow. Oh.
It is so fucking funny they do that. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
In today's world, I'm surprised
Where are they
nobody's caught
located?
it. There's two.
There's two of them.
There's actually three.
Secret Undercover. We'll talk about that.
Oh,
There's one over by Meadows Mall, and then there's one in Highlands Ranch.
These guys have already outed them.
Oh, really? Where?
Where you said
Here, I'm going to email you the
Oh,
picture.
there
to
it
put
is.
up.
Hellcat knows. Oh, man. Cat's
I'm
out
gonna,
of the bag.
I'm going to email you the picture to put up.
Please.
I couldn't believe that shit.
Yeah, no, we're sitting there having lunch, and Mark's like, "Oh my God!"
I'm like, that can't be. What the fuck? I almost like someone snuck behind the bar and changed it, kind of thing. But then I start looking at it; it's all the same handwriting. There ain't no doubt that's what it was.
They might have discussed it before they made the menu.
Or they didn't.
Or they didn't.
The brewer said, fuck it. I wonder who does name them. I bet usually the brewer does. It'll be curious if it's still up.
The brewer might name them.
It'll be curious if it's still up a day or two from now.
But that's
All right, I just sent it to you. Put it up so they can see it.
you sent to my email.
Oh, shit. You know what I did? I sent it to myself. That was stupid. I'm sending it to your...
Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Kurt Rogers, by the way, with us from Affordable Interest Mortgage. If you have any questions on the liquid loan. And, Michael, you want to talk about mandates?
Yeah, Tom, thank you, as always, so much for taking my call, and Mark and everyone. It's an honor anytime I get to talk to you. But, you know, a couple of points I had on this today. First of all, yeah, I am a millennial. I did get kind of a mild case of COVID back in August. It was weak. You know, I was able to fight it off. I have an immune system, and, you know, we've seen Pfizer come out today.
How do you know you had it, man?
I had it because I got tested.
Okay.
And it was a mild case. It wasn't, I mean, there was points about 4 or 5 days in where my breathing was, you know, it was shallow. It was kind of hard to get my breaths in and out. But, you know, it was weak overall. And, I was able to get over it. But, you know, Pfizer came out today, I think, an executive from Pfizer that said, natural immunity is just as good as the vaccine. And,
well,
you know, we already
way
know
better.
this, but... Right. And a couple of really quick points, Tom, on this. So first of all, you know, we heard about this mandate that Governor Newsom came out with the other day for kids age 12 and up to have this vaccine to attend school. I'm not a fan of this because, you know, the virus, it's not even very deadly at all with kids. And we've also seen a lot of problems arise from the vaccine with younger people.
Now listen, Michael, listen, here's what I want to tell you, and you can continue. I use that argument that, hey, kids get over it. Kids don't even get that sick. In fact, my kids didn't even, I mean, they were just having fun. I mean, they had it and they got over it. And here's the deal. Every kid I know, that not one of them got deathly sick or even near, unless the kid had compromised, they were compromised anyway, like really sick children anyway, right? Like with leukemia or other diseases. Now, here's the thing. What they will tell you, Michael, and this is where the inconsistencies come in. If all of those kids get vaccinated, even though it doesn't kill or hurt them, it'll keep them from infecting others. On the same token, they tell you when you're vaccinated, you must wear a mask and you must socially distance because you can still spread it. So that, I think Americans just don't like all of the dual or multi opinions we're getting. They tell us on one hand, oh yeah, it's not going, you know, the kids may not get deathly sick, but the vaccination will keep them from spreading it. Well, which is it? Do vaccinated people spread the disease or not? Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. And, you know, I saw an article the other day, a 16-year-old came out and said, I just want my life back after getting the, I believe it's the Moderna vaccine. I just want my life back. And, you know, the question I wanted to kind of pose to you is, do you think that this mandate, this vaccine mandate for kids 12 and up to be in schools is going to really start a precedent and start catching on in other liberal states like Colorado? Because I know Jared Polis, you know, he has not been like authoritarian per se.
No, he hasn't.
The mandates, the
I think we're pretty lucky. He's been pretty normal. He has been, Mark.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of mandates.
He extended that unemployment just like all these other blue states. It has basically killed our economy, our jobs.
That part of it. I was talking about the COVID restrictions. Go ahead, sir.
But he has not issued mandatory lockdowns for the entire state. He's really left it up to the counties to kind of
he's not
have a lot of
Newsom. I get
leeway.
you.
Yeah, I get you. So what about it then?
No, I just think that we have to give credit where credit is due. Like, he hasn't been like Governor Pritzker in Illinois, where he just straight up shut the entire state down. He's given the counties a lot of rights and kind of discretion with that. But, yeah, I guess that was the question I wanted to pose is, do you think that this is going to catch on, this mandate's going to catch on in other states with kids 12 and up to attend school to get the vaccine?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I think mandates are the future. I don't know what else to say. Until government changes. I mean, but you see, I believe in general that there is conservative thought and progressive thought, and unfortunately a lot of this does fall down those lines. And I think this country is conservatives are far outnumbered. I think more than we think. I think almost every young person, and I think, and I don't know, I don't have any facts behind that. I just think that progressive thought and let's do everything by the government, for the government, pay me, take care of me, wipe my ass, nurture me from cradle to grave is they want the protection of the government. I think that's an overwhelming attitude of American people. I do. I don't think they're risk takers any longer. I don't think we have the fortitude. I don't think we have entrepreneurialism. I think we have a small group of elite conservatives and elite liberals that still make money, you know, like big tech and all of that, and all of it. Just there are some very rich and elite liberals and conservatives, and when it comes to economic stuff, they want to keep the people at bay, so they don't mind taxes, believe it or not. They don't mind all that because it keeps the masses quelled. And then I believe the biggest chunk of America, you have more liberals because they tend to want, whenever you promise people things and it doesn't cost them anything, who doesn't want that? I think it's appealing to the base selfishness and laziness of America. And if unemployment didn't show you that, and these incentives, and how about the eviction relief? As soon as that freeze was put on there, people stopped paying rent, and it was meant for people who were affected by COVID. And all of a sudden, everybody's affected by COVID, and they stop paying rent. I mean, you give people, as they say, an inch and they take a mile. It's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't like that. But we are surrounded by a bunch of lazy-ass slobs. We are. And I wish it wasn't like that. I wish we had more ambition and more intelligence and more independent thought. I wish people would question government, no matter who the government is, by the way. I wish they would question government. I wish we had a press. I wish we had a media that was adversarial, because that keeps everyone on their toes. Instead, we have cheerleaders. We have either you're cheering for the right or you're cheering for the left. Where's Walter Cronkite? Some of you don't even know who he is. Where the hell are these people? I mean, really. And then there's certain rules. Like I never had rules growing up. People thought what they wanted to think. There were no rules. But now, if you're in entertainment, if you're in Hollywood, you have to think liberal. You have to, or they blackball you. And there was one actor, you know, a B actor, but he was an actor one time, made a comment that if you really listen to that young conservative, is it Shapiro, Ben Shapiro. If you really listen to him, he makes some sense. He's not all bad, you know. That guy faced a fireball of criticism and threats of blackballing. He had to go back on his social media and say he apologizes for complimenting Ben Shapiro. He had to distance himself and took down everything he said about Ben Shapiro. And it's only because he expressed the idea that he's not so bad. And it's amazing. It's like Nazi hunters we have in this country. It really is. If you say something wrong, they're like Nazi hunters. And believe me, it's not only liberal people who do it. Do you remember back when the country singers criticized Bush? What they faced, the Dixie Chicks. You remember what they faced? That conservative backlash. So you get backlash with both sides. And I truly believe that America is being weaponized. I swear to God, I believe that people are going to start choosing where they live based on politics. I mean that. Right now, people are leaving California that are conservative. They can't stand the place, and they're looking for more politically friendly states.
And but there's no one moving there.
No.
You don't go, I'm going to move to California.
No, but you will find,
you couldn't afford to move there.
You will find liberals moving to liberal states, and you will find conservatives moving to, it's going to actually divide the country. Hold on, and come back with a mark. We have to take this.
But we got to take it. It is kind of like that. You're right.
You know, the progressives are moving to California.
I'll bet you there are
they
some
don't have
states.
Jobs.
Aren't there some states you wouldn't live in? I would live in California. Aren't there some states you wouldn't live in? Would you live in Arkansas?
It would take a lot to get me there.
It's not really the state, though. I mean, look at
Yeah,
Colorado.
it is the state.
No. Denver compared to Douglas County, it's two different fucking countries, man.
Yeah. But that's
It is. It's not. It's totally different.
Shark Bay says, Tom, it's been like this since
But California, there's probably no enclaves.
But it's getting worse, man.
Conservatives.
Oh, yeah, there is. There's definitely countries. Where I went and picked up my bus. Guess what? It's
polarized us more than anyone.
hold on, Doc. Ontario.
Polarized us more than
I don't think there was a liberal there. Like literally, they hated the governor. And I'm always asking people. I didn't find one person out there, but they're all business owners.
More than anybody.
Yeah, I know. John,
You know what I did yesterday? I did it right here in the studio. Stop thinking dirty. It was IV. I got my IV. Rocky Mountain IV Medics came here. I'm serious. I love these guys. I feel great. RockyMountainIVMedics.com. They sent a medical professional right here to do my IV. You can have it done in your office, in your home. I love the idea that they do that because it's one of the most common therapies for making you feel good, whether it be for migraines or dehydration, vitamin deficiencies. Maybe you even have COVID. This can help you. It can put you over the hump. RockyMountainIVMedics.com, 720-987-2155. Now, that number can be texted or called for same-hour appointments even, 720-987-2155. Floor coverings come in all shapes and sizes, and the good thing about floor coverings, you can find them and buy them anywhere, from big box stores to floor warehouses to, all kinds of places. So why would you choose SimplyFloorsInc.com? It's a small place, but big in selection. They can get you anything, and they promise you this: better pricing, better installers, better warranties, better financing, and a better all-around experience. They'll come to you. Make your own appointment at SimplyFloorsInc, SimplyFloorsInc.com.
It's crazy. I didn't realize how much bigger California was than New York population-wise.
Oh, is it? You mean stay in the state?
It's shocking.
Well, because
it's almost double.
Well, because New York is all in New York City. The rest of it is really not that populated, relatively, right? Upstate.
Not compared to New York City, absolutely. Right. Yeah. It's like New Jersey.
Yeah, but California, I think you have more. You have San Diego.
You got 40 million in California.
Well, yeah, look.
You got about 20 in New York.
Right. We got San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco.
Most big cities
Sacramento.
are liberal. Most big cities are liberal.
No, we're talking about just population.
Yeah, purely population.
Just numbers. Whereas New York, out of the city, most of the other cities are relatively small. Buffalo, Schenectady, Albany, all those aren't really major population centers. Whereas California, you've got 5 or 6 big population centers.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Let's say LA, San Francisco, San Diego. They're big cities.
There's more people in downtown LA after midnight than there are in this state. That's an exaggeration.
Vermont.
But that's the way it feels.
323 people died. That's it.
Tell me, when I first moved to Denver.
Well, isn't that because there's so few people?
We went out. My wife and I went out to dinner.
Yeah, sure. But it's just amazing.
9 o'clock, there was not a person.
How many you think California died?
It was empty. And we're from New York. 9 o'clock, you can barely walk on the sidewalk. I said, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
70,000.
So bizarre. Yeah. But it has changed.
Yeah, it's getting crowded.
It is getting crowded.
You could still do, I think everybody in the world could get a quarter acre of land. Every person, 6 billion of us, I believe it's a quarter or maybe an eighth acre in Texas. The whole fucking planet can fit in Texas.
Really?
With an eighth of an acre.
Wow. Something crazy like that. I don't know what it was, but it was big.
Well, imagine what it would be in Alaska.
I think it was a half an acre, but that's back when we had 3 billion people.
Well, in Alaska it would probably be 2 acres.
Easily. Cold as shit.
Right.
2 acres.
So listen, do you know all the Scandinavian countries that didn't shut down? They're doing great.
Well, just look at the states, depending on.
No, they thought people would all die, and they didn't. Australia is the worst in the world as far as Nazi regime. It's the worst.
Aren't they the ones that their prisons on an island?
Well, the whole.
It's either New Zealand or
continent.
No, but there's like if you get arrested there, they throw you on another fucking island.
And then San Francisco.
That's true. They used to.
Well, Rikers too. Rikers and Alcatraz.
Yeah, but Rikers is kind of connected, right? I mean, it's right there. There's a bridge to it.
Right. It's right in the city.
There ain't no bridge to fucking Alcatraz.
No. Well, where was Papillon filmed? Wasn't that
Alcatraz, right?
No, Papillon was.
Papillon was somewhere else. That was a point.
That was one of the French prisons.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
I was thinking of another.
That was a great movie, Papillon.
What was the one about the Birdman of Alcatraz?
Oh yeah, that
was great.
That was Burt Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
The Birdman of Alcatraz. Now there was a time when Joe McCarthy, he was extreme right.
Oh yeah.
That was a time when people were like crazy shit, crazy
about communists
going after people.
That was a strange time.
They name names.
And I think that's why the entertainment industry got so rabidly liberal, because they were going after them and they all got together and started sneaking around.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Don't forget realcbdthatworks.com. for pain, inflammation, and it helps boost your immune system. I'm not telling you it's going to avoid COVID or anything, but I'm telling you CBD is good for you. RealCBDThatWorks.com. Tom, and the promo code 30% off.
You know, after break, I want to ask Kurt if I can take that liquid loan and buy real estate as an investment. Can I have a
Well, you can do it. I think you can do anything you want. Hold on. We'll talk about that. Devlin, what's going on with you? Devlin, you have a comment.
Yeah, I just want to say there's like a herbal over-the-counter formula that most people don't know about. I heard about it from an acupuncturist who
What is it called?
Travels to China a lot. It's called berberine.
Berberine?
And it's all, yeah, Berberine.
Okay. I never heard of it.
It's also called golden seal root.
Oh, I've heard of
Chinese.
golden seal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But are you sure it's
I
golden
just looked
seal?
up. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Berberine is just it's the only way you can find it. Like at Sprouts, you can find berberine.
They say it's good for strengthening. They say it's good for strengthening the heart, and it can control levels of blood pressure and cholesterol. They say it's good for a lot of stuff. Hold on if you want to keep talking. Just hold on because we're running out of time. I don't mind you talking. Listen, folks, this is the only place where you can talk about anything you want, both sides, and you're not going to be hung up on.
So that's supposed to prevent COVID, berberine?
But you will get hung up on if you talk too stupid for too long.
And Barbasol. I heard if you take enough Barbasol, you'll be okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Barbasol.
And a few whippets.
I like the idea of the red hots.
Yeah, I know. You start going, you got it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. Waits 15 minutes, then he goes eats his meal.
Because Lord Fauci said so.
If you have any issues with your home or commercial policies, call
Feels nice in here.
Got a bunch of meetings today, but some of them are canceled.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. ABC News. I'm Derek Dennis. In Texas, police say they have a suspect in custody following a high school shooting in Arlington. Police say a student opened fire after a fight broke out at Timberview High School and then fled. 4 people were injured. He's identified as 18-year-old Timothy George Simpkins, a student at Timberview High School. Police say he got into a fight with at least one other student, pulled a gun, and started shooting, leaving 4 people hurt and terrified parents rushing to the campus.
What did you say? I didn't miss it.
She's like, we don't know why this is happening. I'm like,
Someone pissed someone off.
yeah.
That didn't sound like a school shooting. That sounded like a beef.
That was straight beef. I don't know how the other folks got involved, but
Got in the middle, pick sides.
that was straight beef.
This is ABC News. The parents of Gabby Petito appearing on Dr. Phil pleading for her boyfriend Brian Laundrie to turn himself in.
That dude ain't turning himself in. They're gonna find his ass dead, or they're gonna hook him like in fucking Mexico or fucking Haiti or somewhere.
In my heart, that she was gone. Her parents telling Dr. Phil they reached out to Brian Laundrie.
I don't know, man. They lawyered up so early. I would think they got a very good criminal lawyer, and they didn't do anything legally wrong. I would guess that's the case. They didn't aid and abet. They probably, even when they saw their son, the lawyer probably talked to the son first. Unless you want to implicate your parents, you're going to stick with this. You're not going to talk about this. I would assume that's why they got the lawyer involved before, before anybody realized she was missing. They lawyered up.
or filling a prescription.
Geez, what'd you do? Your kid calls you up. Oh, I fucking just whacked her.
Prevnar 13 can help protect you from pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease. If you're 65 or older,
Yes, shooting stemmed from a fight. No threat to community.
help protect yourself with the Prevnar 13 pneumococcal 13 valent conjugate vaccine. Diphtheria CRM197 protein. Prevnar 13 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 13 does not protect against all strains of the disease. Stop by the pharmacy today and ask about Prevnar 13. Learn more at Prevnar13.com. Don't get Prevnar 13 if you have had severe allergic.
I'm gonna buy some atomic fireballs, Mark. and try it.
Find out.
I am.
So you can enhance the flavor of your food.
Let's taste something for once in 10 months. But it's like I'm totally gonna try that trick. You never know.
Eats the atomic fireballs and blows
Then you
himself
wait
wide
15
open.
minutes,
Then you
eat
can
your
taste
food,
everything.
taste everything.
Pretty good.
I'm hoping, unless the atomic fireball tastes nasty, because I can't really have sweets right now at all. Like ice cream, yogurt, it tastes nasty right now.
Really?
Oh, brownies, like my favorite dessert is brownies.
Oh, then you
Can't
would
even
have just,
stomach it.
you could not have eaten Daphne's cookies here because they were like, ooh, sweet heaven.
Did she bring some in?
Yes,
Were they
she
chocolate
did.
chip?
That's the way
Yes,
she
they
wins
were.
people
Oh, man,
over.
they
Oh
were-
yeah,
they
she's
were
a
outrageous.
She just, yeah.
She's a junkie. I mean, a pusher.
That was sweet heaven, though.
Yeah, her cookies are freaking tasty.
That girl
You'll
made
know
some-
when I bring cookies in. It'll be fucking Oreos.
Oh,
And
but
it'll
I
be the
said everybody will
generic-
be stoned.
They'll be the what are the fake Oreos you get at like fucking Walmart? I might buy this fucking vehicle.
What is it? Are you going to sell yours?
I need to find one first. I just want something to get me through a few months.
Impact traffic.
I really am kicking around that Hummer big time, but they haven't landed yet.
Have you thought about renting one, Mark?
You can't even find them yet. They're like the
No,
Corvette.
no, renting a car for a few months.
Oh no, they're just, the fucking rental market is ungodly, man. It's so much. I mean, it is so much.
So, okay, what about the G80 you like, right? Is that what it's called? What is it called?
I wouldn't buy it right now. I'm not paying MSRP for shit, man.
Well, you know it's going to be a long time before it gets
Long time. I think this time next year. And then I'll have another model year to deal with.
I hope you do. I hope it does.
Hey, I'm easy cheesy, man. I can have a nice car or a shit car.
I tell you.
I drove some
As long as
shit.
it runs on
So,
The only thing I'll miss is, oh, you're crazy, by the way, man. You need to get into that, what was it, a Beamer or an Audi?
that BMW X7.
Yeah, man. I mean, yours has got the horsepower. Remember, I drove it the other day. Fuck, man.
It's fast.
You don't even got a fucking cup holder. What the?
Yeah, I do.
Where?
It folds out.
Okay.
There's
no fucking amenities.
Yeah, they're not built
It's
like.
utilitarian.
Yeah, but they are. Yes.
I feel like
But
it's,
that was his design.
if I was out in the bush hunting tigers.
It's got my control panel with all that shit. It just doesn't have all the heads up and all that shit and the safety stuff. It does have the cruise control
It's
with
just
spacing
It
and lane.
drives like a truck, a fast fucking truck.
Yeah.
You're gonna love that other thing, man.
It is a utility.
You're gonna. The other thing's a Cadillac, but it's an SUV, man.
It is beautiful. And the only thing keeping me, well, it's not the only thing. I have to give Rod.
You said it's about MSRP, right?
No, he said he can get it for me at MSRP.
That's what I'm saying. So who cares?
And
You're not paying over.
And it's coming in this month if I want it.
I do.
And it's white with the perfect.
You're gonna love it so much more. You're so used to your thing now. Well, I'm acting like you haven't had fucking luxurious shit.
I know, but
that your car is not luxurious, man. It's fucking a ball buster.
The G-Wagon
It's
is a
fast
hipster
as
thing.
fuck.
No, it's a hipster thing.
I bet the brand new ones that are 200-300, I bet they're decked out with all this shit.
not much, Mark. Not what you think.
No.
A little more though, but not what you think.
The hipster thing.
Hipster.
I drove one. It's
No,
not.
a hipster thinks of Prius when these billionaires are driving their Prius.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
I'm Tom Martino. This hour brought to you by Affordable interest mortgage, aimortgage.net, 720-895-0500. The liquid loan I've been talking about a long time. Kurt Rogers is with us. Kurt, you know, at first glance you may think, what's this loan all about? It's tied to LIBOR. It's an ARM. Maybe I don't want an ARM. Yet rates are pretty stable. What I'd like to know, is there an upper ceiling on it if we get one? It's simple interest. So let's take a liquid loan on a house that has appreciated a whole bunch. Now, we have to pay off a $200,000 loan. That line of credit goes to the $200,000 first. So our line of credit is open for 30 years and we owe $200,000 on it. Every month, simple interest is due on that $200,000. Turn your mic on there, bro. And
yes, it's roughly $320 a month for every $100,000.
Okay, now, what if I don't make the payment?
They'll just take it out of the equity that's built into the loan.
Okay. Now, obviously, I can make as much or as little of a payment as I want.
Correct. It works on, it comes with basically a savings account attached to it. So every dollar you put into
it. Checking account, really, right?
Comes with a checking account, but also has a savings account.
Oh, really?
So every dollar you put in the account basically pays you the same rate as the mortgage.
Right, because it counts down your balance.
Right. So let's say it's 4%. If you put in $10,000, they're going to pay you 4%, lower your payment. So as that happens, you're really not paying 4%. You're paying 2.5%. Because you're not paying the 4% on the total amount, you're paying it on the lower amount. Your effective interest rate is going to come in at about 2.5% to 2.75.
If you have money in the bank.
If you just make the same, let's say you go out and get a $200,000 loan at 3%, and that payment might be, let's say, $1,000. Well, the payment on this one is $640. So now you got $360 going to principal, which is roughly the same as it would be on a fixed loan, but that's driving the payment down. So every month, instead of $640, it's going to $635 to $630 to $625.
I see.
And more money's going to principal.
So with the simple interest, you're paying less interest than amortized.
That's right, because you're getting reimbursed the money for every dollar that sits there.
What I like is you can convert your real estate to cash within 5 seconds. There's no other product that I know you can do that.
Right. You can write a check, go make an investment.
You could pay cash for the house. Let's say it's $1 million house, have a $900,000 line of credit on there, and basically pay nothing on the mortgage. You own the house outright because you're not borrowing any. And then any second you need the cash, you can convert that equity in your house to cash instantly.
Yeah, they call the loan the all-in-one loan because it has 4 features. It's a checking account, savings account, it's a 30-year mortgage, and it's a 30-year line of credit. So when you pay it down, you can access that money anytime, just like you say, Tom, write a check. I see
it's an amazing loan, and I'm not sure why more and more people don't do it.
A lot of people are not aware of the loan. The loan came to the United States in 1999, so it's relatively new here. But we're the only country in the world that does 30-year fixes. The rest of the world doesn't do them. They don't do 25s. They do the way they do mortgages completely different.
And you know what? I don't know why people care so much about 30-year fix. No one stays in their home 30 years.
No, you're right.
I mean, 15-year fix, why do they care? Most people nowadays are moving every 5 years.
Or refinancing to get the cash out to pay off debt.
Devlin, what's going on, Devlin? Devlin?
He's the one that was suggesting the berberine.
Yeah. I wanted to talk. I wanted to know if he wanted to still talk. We were having a very unheated discussion, by the way, the last hour or so. Not only consumer problems, questions, and complaints at 303-713-TALK, but we were actually having discussions. Devlin, anytime. Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You were talking about a supplement for COVID. I just want to first preface what people are listening to. We've been having a very unheated discussion on COVID, on mandates, on vaccines, on the facts about vaccines, the truth, the fiction, and I'm not pushing an agenda. And I know that some people like polarizing shows maybe, and it gets them fired up. I'm not telling you that I don't have opinions. I'm telling you I'm not pushing my opinions. And I truly want to hear from people. I want to know what they think about mandates, vaccine mandates. You're a young man, Devlin. Would you identify yourself as conservative or liberal or neither?
Conservative.
Okay. What about?
But I don't agree with believe that the promoting of anti-vaccines is going to be good. I think they should just
let people go
give up on that angle.
Yeah. Well, okay. Did you get vaccinated?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so did I. And what about berberine? What you said that's is that otherwise known as golden seal?
Yeah, I believe so. But berberine is the only way you can really find it around here.
Yeah.
I've got a local vitamin store and stuff.
And so you've been taking it?
Yeah, I take it. Like if I get a cold or something, I really start taking it just in case it turns out to be COVID. But it's like good for the immune system, but it doesn't it suppresses the cytokine storm.
Yeah. Now here, and it has effects against bacteria and fungi, and can be helped. Let's see. There's a lot of good uses here.
Yeah, I think if you search NCBI, like berberine COVID, like a lot of Chinese studies will come up, and then it does something to also prevent the virus from entering through the ACE receptors on cells, and that's kind of where it gets into the heart health stuff.
Yeah,
and then it also it doesn't enhance the cytokine storm, where I think you have to be careful when you're taking over the counter stuff for the immune system, because some of it can cause your own cells to overreact.
That's right. That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. So it sounds
vitamin D and zinc are the safest things to take.
Yeah, it sounds like you're pretty careful. What do you think about mandates?
I don't know. It's hard to say. There's so much information coming about. With it's I go one way and then I go the other way.
Yeah, yeah. I go one way when it comes to that part. I don't think the mandates are going to work. I think education works, and I think volunteering works, but mandates are just going to make people more resistant, in my opinion. I really mean that. Anyway, Hector, I did my research. I figured, look, I'm not promoting this or telling you to do it. I'm saying that RNA technology is not new. That's the one thing, Deputy Doc. People keep saying, well, RNA just came out. They didn't have enough time to test it. They were developing RNA. In fact, the plan was for RNA technology to take over all vaccines.
Well, I agree. And the other thing that's interesting is that people say it's not a vaccine because it's not using any part of the virus or denatured virus to cause immunity. But a vaccine is anything that will cause you to have an immune response to a specific virus.
Right.
So you can't say because it's you may not want to take the vaccine, but don't say it's not a vaccine.
What do you think, Hector?
Oh, I work at a concert venue, and all these venues that are in this kind of group are requiring vaccines to get into the shows, and
right.
And I guess I just wanted to I've talked to tons and tons and tons of people, and the vast majority of people are really happy that is a requirement to get in. They didn't want to go to shows before then, and so I just so much of this is business decisions, and
so
and
Hector, so you work at a concert venue, and you've heard from people, thank you for requiring this?
Oh yeah, lots of people. Yeah, lots of people that weren't going to go to shows until it was a requirement. Yeah.
One thing I noticed, I went to a concert recently. Me and my kids, Mark, Suzanne, their kids, we went to a concert, and they hardly look at the documentation. So tell the truth, Hector. How much can you really examine it?
I think that it really depends on the venue. But definitely at our venues, they're checking IDs, they reject people where if it looks like, there's been some sort of doctoring on the vaccine card. They're pretty strict. They have separate lines, for it all. I think it's harder though. I went to a show at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
And there was literally a mob of people trying to get their vaccine bans or whatever. And I have a feeling it's really hard in those situations to check everybody. But
hey, what about this, Hector? Did you require in your venues where you work? Do they require just the card, or can you have a negative test?
We had the negative test as an option, but it just became really hard to track.
Because those are not standard.
2 hours, and
those are not standard.
And they're not standard also. So we did that as a transition period.
Yeah.
and now it's all just a vaccine requirement.
Hector, do you think there should be a mandate in all things, schools everywhere, restaurants? I mean, do you think we should just say everyone must get vaccinated?
I don't think that private businesses should be required to do that, but I think that it makes a lot of sense in public institutions or in places where there are people that are, vulnerable to getting really sick.
He said something very interesting. He said a business decision for the venue he works at. I've been pretty upset thinking about the airlines and how they're going that right. From the stock trader I am, if that is better for that stock because more people want to fly if they know everybody's vaccinated on there, maybe that is a good business decision.
That's what Hector is saying. Hector is saying he thinks more people are going to concerts because of it, not the opposite, right, Hector?
I really do believe that. Yeah, I mean, really, like when you look at like the percentages, there are a lot of people that complain.
Yeah.
But it's like a very compared to the number of people that are actually going to the concert.
Right.
It's a very, very low number, and you get tons of people that are just like, oh yeah, great, I'm so glad,
Yeah.
Well, the one we went to. I mean, okay, so we went to 3 shows a couple weeks ago, Suzanne and I, and they started at the Ogden, then it was the Mission Ballroom, and then the Pepsi Center or Ball Arena, and every one of them was sold out. I mean, completely sold out.
All right, we got to take a break. Thanks for calling, man.
03713 Talk.
How many people do you think would go to football games if they're mandated?
I think same number, don't you? Or no? You didn't get vaccinated, I take it, right? Did you think
I don't have a problem if somebody gets vaccinated.
But let me, no, neither do I. I got vaccinated. Do you think it's too dangerous to take for you?
No.
Oh, okay.
My neighbor, she's a cop. She's lost her job. But the 3 doctors said if you take the vaccine...
Hey, let's talk about it.
Investment. It's called Become the Banker. Become the Banker is a process where you buy a life insurance policy and then you overfund it on purpose. The extra money above the cost of insurance goes into an account that grows tax-free. And the cost of insurance is like 1% or less, only for the first few years. So this money that you put into it that grows tax-free, you can use tax-free, and they can show you how. In fact, the idea is to build it up through your life, use it for yourself, pay it back with interest, and then have it for retirement. Find out more at becomethebanker.org, becomethebanker.org. Zero Res Denver, you better get ready for the holidays, and Zero Res can do it for you with their patented process of cleaning. And what do I mean by patented process of cleaning? They use like nothing that is toxic. It's water. You know what I'm saying? I mean water. Think about water. It's empowered water. It's patented. It is amazing. What it does is it goes and cleans deep. It sterilizes. It takes care of your carpets. They have a proprietary scrubbing, and it's the best system because it cleans faster and dries faster and stays clean longer. ZeroResDenver.com. It's what I use in my home, 303-471-5150. Find out more, ZeroResDenver.com. It's the only one you'll ever use, 303-471-5150.
I had Zero Res here, and I can't find it now.
But then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them.
I need to buy a storage cabinet for my garage, or actually it's my hangar, but I want a big steel, like, I don't want a piece of shit. I don't want melamine. I want a steel cabinet that I can assemble, or wherever. I don't know where to buy one. They don't have many good ones. Just 48 inches.
Harbor Freight, yeah.
48 inches. I love Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight will have it.
I'll try that.
Yeah, you'll drive our way.
That's a good thought. You're right. Hey, you go to Harbor Freight, bro?
Regularly.
I bought one of those their brand of toolbox. Holy shit. What is their brand? It's called American General or something like that, or General, whatever.
Yes,
Holy. I priced these toolboxes all over. Snap and I priced them all over. Home Depot. First of all, you can't get them as big as I want them. It's 6 foot and multi drawers. It's the most beautiful toolbox I've ever found. And man, it was cheaper than everyone, and it was just as good. I mean, I was blown away at how beautiful it was.
That's where most of my tools come from.
God, I was so happy. This was after I had purchased one from Home Depot, and I'm glad it didn't come. I didn't work out because the guy dropped it off the truck and said, "What do you think?" And I said, "What the hell? What do you mean? What do I think? I ain't doing it."
I think you should take it back and bring me a new one.
And it's a good way to stay on top of my health. Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people.
Shit, I was looking for, Mark, I'm looking for these damn, the zero res they sent me. Oh, maybe I put them in my production folder. Let me see. Well, shit, yeah, that's what I did. Where are they supposed to go? I looked everywhere else for them. Piece of shit. Okay, 3 rooms. Oh, it's still 3 rooms, 119. So I don't have to do anything. Okay. 3 rooms, 115. Got 119 still. Got it.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
Oh, 119. 119. Ooh, that's different. 119.
Partly sunny, breezy, high of 80 with just a slight chance for a stray shower on Wednesday.
All right, I want to see what this lady says.
For 37 years has been the trusted source.
I wish I got that little fucking Honda, that guy. That son of a bitch.
Oh, she sold it.
I don't know what they did, but.
No, sold it. Yeah, I heard about it.
Brands you can trust from friends you can trust. Small Palace. Visit smallpalace.com for locations.
Now, who would call on their ex-girlfriend not getting paid? It says ex-girlfriend not getting paid.
Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Wesley, what's going on? And people, if you have any comments, listen, we're taking all kinds of consumer problems as we always do, but if you have any comments on, for example, the mandates, vaccines, immunity, whatever you want to talk about, this is the show where we do it without being crazy and stupid and all one and not all the other, and just trust me on that, okay? I just want to have an intelligent discussion. Hey, Wesley, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, I'm just looking for some direction. My ex-girlfriend, who's come back into my life over the past couple of months, found out she's been working for this furniture gallery in Wheat Ridge, and he hasn't paid her. He won't pay her. He would say things like, once the grand opening comes, once a store opens, I'll be able to pay you, I'll pay you. He pushed the opening back 3 different times.
How long total has she worked there? Let's talk. That's the important part.
3 months. Over 3 months.
Oh, no. And she didn't get paid a dime, Wesley?
He is trickling payments into her Venmo totaling $700 for like 60-hour work weeks for 3 months.
Okay, listen. Why does she continue there then?
She doesn't. She left. He fired her. He actually fired her.
This is easy. Labor board.
Yeah. Oh, that's really easy.
Who do we call? Like, it's not going to cost us money because lawyers.
It's not going to cost you money, bro. Wesley, it's not going to cost you money.
Yeah.
It's that wage an hour.
Right.
Does she have any proof of engagement of how much he promised to pay?
Yeah, we have text messages, and then we have.
Good.
We have some recordings and stuff.
Good. How much an hour was she getting?
It was supposed to be at least $15 an hour.
Okay. And how many hours was she not paid for? She has to consider what he paid.
At least 960 hours.
Hold on, but she was paid for some of them, right?
Yeah, you'd have to add up her Venmo payments and divide it by 15.
So she worked 960 hours, and he paid so far only
about $800.
Okay. Now, do you know it's 800 or is it more or less? Do you know?
It might be up to 1,000. I've looked at her Venmo. You could count everything in her Venmo. But
let's just say it's 1,000. So,
right,
what we do is we'll subtract. We'll take 960. So what we're going to do is take 960 and do some multiplying. I mean, that's the only thing we can do. 960 times. You must have done this, right? Times 15. So that's a lot of freaking money. Minus 1,000. So he owes 13,400, right? That's my math.
Exactly. She even helped him complete a furniture damage claim from moving, and he promised her 20% of that claim.
Listen, hold on. This guy's a scumbag, man. What's the name of the store so we can tell people?
Mid-Mod Furniture in Wheat Ridge on 44th and Wadsworth.
Mid-Mod Furniture?
Yep, mid-century furniture from the 50s to 70s.
Mid-Mod Furniture, okay. Mid-Mod Furniture, and where is it?
44th and Wadsworth.
Okay.
44th Avenue.
Did it open yet?
He's got it's open now, and she still hasn't been paid. It's been open over a month.
And when did she leave, or he fired her?
Yeah, he fired her about 3 days before the grand opening. 3 days before the grand opening.
So that was like a month ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah, about a month ago.
This sucks.
And I came back into her life, and when I started coming back into her life, as a friend, this guy started making distance with her. Like, it's almost like he wanted a different type of relationship with her. And that's what really has her down. She's really blown away by it, that this guy wasn't just a decent guy employer. He had ulterior motives, and it's clear as day. When I came around, all of a sudden, he doesn't need her anymore and stuff like that.
Tell me about this creep. About how old is he?
David is in his 50s. David's in his 50s.
And
he employs people that are down on their luck. He employs a couple of homeless people. He employs people that basically he can take advantage of.
What's David?
That's what he does.
Why did he take advantage of your girlfriend?
She was without a job. She was living on her own in an apartment.
What's her name? What's her first name? Only first name.
Ariana.
Okay. Now, here's what I'd like to know.
She's a really good-natured person. She's just a really good-natured person.
What's David's last name?
I don't have his last name right offhand.
Okay. Listen, man, we're going to have somebody call him. Deputy Doc, are you busy? Okay, you have some follow-ups, too.
I'm waiting for him.
Okay, hold on. So David is the owner. Hold on. Yep. We're going to have Deputy Doc get a hold of you. Hold on. Do not hang up. We're going to give him a call. Dave, what are you thinking about vaccine mandates, man? What do you think? Dave?
Talking to me, Tom?
Yes, sir. What do you think?
Hey, Tom. How are you? Calling from the great free state of Florida here.
What do you think about, well, thank you. What do you think about vaccine mandates? I know Florida, they're pretty conservative. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a little insane for mandating this, because you have all kinds of people out there that have natural immunity, and you have other people that can't take it because of the vaccine, because of underlying conditions. You know, down here we live our life like normal. I mean, you wouldn't even know this COVID is going out. And all through this entire process of the last 2 years coming up, there's one constant, and that is the mortality rate is under 2%. And you're mandating and you're dividing this country now up into vaccine classes. What's going on now is insane. You're showing your papers, which is against HIPAA violations. It just seems insane to me.
You know, I agree. I don't think we should mandate or demand papers, and but, you know,
Show me your papers.
Are you telling me that Florida is not doing worse than the rest of the country?
What you're seeing in the news is again, I think, fake news. I know some people that are in the medical industry here. They're saying that you know, there's no overloading of hospitals. There never has been. When we were up in Connecticut, were putting up all kinds of tents, you know, outside of hospitals. And we'd go over to the hospital in Hartford, and there was nobody.
You remember when you remember when Trump shipped that ship over to New York City because their governor said they had to have it, and they didn't have one person with COVID on it.
Not one person. And keep in mind here, that now I've lost a couple of friends, and I have a client in the hospital right now that went in with COVID, and she's not doing well at all, and she's been in the hospital for a while. But my friends that lost their lives, and a good friend of mine lost his life in Memorial Day in Denver, and he had underlying conditions.
Right.
So most of the COVID deaths that you're hearing about, these people, you know, if you get killed in an accident, they test you and you have COVID, they put you down.
No, I know. I had a nephew. Listen, I had a nephew literally in the hospital with cirrhosis and drug overdosing and painkiller addiction and alcoholism, and he weighed 350. I mean, he was like. He was obese, and then he tested positive for COVID, and that's what they listed as his death. I swear to God. I mean, he had a heart attack too. I mean, I thought that showed me that was BS, and that was in Florida. Hey, by the way, you're at a way all-time low right now with the 7-day average. Not all-time low, but pretty low. In fact, you just had a spike for some reason in August, but it looks like you guys have been pretty well managing it. So I don't know how the hospitals could be overwhelmed right now with your averages are falling below normal.
We live our life like I always have. My girlfriend and I were talking about this yesterday. During this whole thing, we haven't changed anything. And there's going to be people that get sick. And at the end of the day, there's no flu deaths anymore. Remember that.
No, I know. Can you believe that? 60 to 70,000 people aren't dying anymore.
Right. And so a lot of these, we're just being fed lie after lie after lie. And this is coming down to
But what do you think?
Issue.
You know, I know people say that, and that's a popular notion. But and you can hold on, and I'm going to take other comments. But what's the purpose of those lies? I wonder what is the vested interest of government and healthcare workers lying? I mean, usually there's a goal. Now, I know control. They love control. I know that. But are they really lying to get that control?
I know that now more than ever, government has more power than it's ever had over individual life.
It's been flipped. It's not the way it was designed.
Right. Totally.
Can I ask you something? And I always bring this to race, and I'll tell you why. Because it's sacred. You know, it's the separation of people. It's sacred that we don't distinguish between people. I mean,
correct.
In God's eyes, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So what if a disease, communicable and deadly, only affected a certain race? What would happen? What would happen?
They'd be kind of like the Japanese were in war.
What would
They'd all
happen?
be put in cages.
I know. I don't think they would. What would happen? I wonder if there was a communicable disease, highly contagious and deadly, much like COVID or worse, but it only affected a certain race of people or a certain subsection of people, and that's sacred. Discrimination is out. What would happen?
What do you mean discrimination's out? Sounds like the virus is.
Let's talk about home vestors. What is home vestors? Here's the bottom line. If you want to sell your home, you can go the route of a real estate person and all that. Of course you can. I mean, that's what you do. And that's what Kurt Rogers does. He writes loans for that at affordable interest mortgage. But what if you don't want inspections, commissions, you don't want loan approvals, you don't want to wait? You don't want to wait at all. You don't want to even wait 2 weeks. Call Home Vestors. Maybe you have your home in disrepair, or maybe you just want to get out of town. Maybe it's old, whatever it is. You just want to get out of town and get a check in a few days. 800-44-BUYER. You'll never know until you try. 800-44.
Hey, so how do I'm going to go to Home Depot.
Yes.
I'll have them match this up. It's for my hot tub. They say it just pops in, but how the fuck's it pop in? It's got a lip around it.
Yeah, but I think that lip comes off, snaps off.
So those two screws?
Well, okay, that could be it. That could be it too. But either that pops off and then you take it out, or they make you go behind it.
So there's no wires on the back? It literally pushes in?
Oh, well, some of them push in. You got to look at the specs on it. Like if you go to Amazon, they'll let you see a view all the way around it. Now, most of them snap in now, Mark. You don't buy
That's what I mean. They just snap in.
They have clamps that hold a rail. Yep.
And how come?
How do you know that one's bad?
Because that's the wild
Does
part.
it keep tripping?
Yeah. Only when if I have all the jets on and the heater, it'll trip sometimes. But here's how I know that the breaker's going bad. Is because I got to wait about 2 minutes or else the breaker won't even hold back up. It like slowly breaks to a halfway point. And when I described that to Gaddy, he said, "Oh yeah, they'll do that when they're going bad." Well, why is that? What makes it go bad? That's the part I don't understand.
The metal, it wears out.
It just wears.
Yeah. It's not a relay. It's a switch. It's just a switch.
It's a hard switch.
But those switches can wear out. But they only usually wear out. How old is it?
Oh fuck.
Okay. Well then, but
easily 6 years.
But I'm not sure 6 years because they don't.
Well, I don't.
It's not like unless you turn them on and off a lot on that switch, then they would wear out. The points wear out. But if you don't use it that much, for God's sakes,
Gaddy said the main way to tell if a fuse is going is basically it'll overheat, and then you can't put it right back up all of a sudden. You got to kind of let it go down. You got to let it cool off a little.
So that's because the metal.
And that's exactly what mine's doing.
Is becoming weaker.
And you can actually feel it in this. You know how you can usually on a good breaker, you just feel it click. It's either one way or the other. This one's almost like it's like a lever that can go any which way. So you don't think you can just tighten it though, right?
No.
Not worth fucking around.
Well, anything can be fucked with, but is it worth it?
No, it's like $25 fucking fuse.
The current and the heat.
Not to mention it's for my hot one that I know is fucking good.
Yeah. The current and the heat that cause the metal to trip, to break when it.
Saying?
That's odd though that you can actually.
Yeah, I'll bring it in. When I swap it out today, I'll bring it in.
Huh.
Yeah, that's been a good fucking hot tub. There's really not much. Once you do the heating element, I've never had to do a pump. But basically, if you got to do a heating element and a pump, you're under $1,000, and really the rest of it is fucking nothing. There's not much to a hot tub.
Just the shell.
It's just a big plastic, weatherproof shell.
Yeah.
Well, you do have to generally I end up doing a cover about every 3 years. I'll be getting my third cover. I just ordered it.
Well, that cover sits out there and takes that weather.
Yeah. The other thing is the nature of the humidity from the water saturates it and it gets heavy.
Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's get right to the phones, and I want to remind you, Kurt Rogers can answer any questions at Affordable Interest Mortgage when he's not here at 720-895-0500, 895-0500. One of the finest people and organizations I know, Affordable Interest Mortgage. That's AIMortgage.net. Let's talk. Okay, so Dave, go ahead. What do you think, Dave? What's happening?
Yeah, Tom, to finish up our conversation, and then I'll let you go. Down here in Florida, the monoclonal antibodies, the Biden administration started restricted Florida from getting those. Ron DeSantis had set up all these stations around the state. It was proven to be a great way for people to be recovering from the COVID and quicker and avoiding the hospital. Biden administration takes that away. The hospital, the governor of New York, fires all the unvaccinated health workers. Last year they were heroes. Today they're zeros. And 1,400 people are out of work because they didn't want to get vaccine. These are medical professionals that refuse to get the vaccine.
Well said. Brian, you have a comment. Go ahead, Brian. What's happening with you?
Hey, Tom, you ever read a book from Michael Crichton called State of Fear?
No, I haven't even heard of Crichton's book, State of Fear. What is it about?
Yeah. So basically, it doesn't matter if it's global warming, doesn't matter if it's the vaccine, doesn't even matter if it's religion. You use fear and fear-mongering in the media to control people. You use it to gain power and keep power and keep control over people. And
do you think that's the end game? Do you think that truly is the goal?
Yeah. From a political standpoint, it absolutely is, because if one party or the other keeps everybody in a state of fear, you will succumb. You will acquiesce to what they want you to do.
Yeah,
that's what the Nazis did.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Brian. Yeah. And you know what? It's fear, but it's also now for your own good type thing, right? For your own good. It's not just fear, but we want to help you. That's
and it's even going worse. What did Biden say? That you should be embarrassed if you haven't gotten the shot, or you?
Oh no, he's pitting us against each other. Do you know what would happen if Trump would have said the same exact words? What about when Biden said, "Why don't they get out of the way and let us do what we want?" Think about now, this is supposed to be nonpartisan. This is supposed to be a coalition he's building, reaching across the aisle. And he said they should get out of our way and let us do what we want. Think about that. Get out of our way and let us do what we want. Could you imagine that on the other side? That's what I'm getting at. Everyone just goes after people when they say stuff they don't like on their side.
He also said prior to the election that if you're black, you'll vote for me, and if you don't, you're not black.
I thought Obama said that.
No, that's what Biden said.
Biden said that. Okay. Oh,
that was
okay.
Biden sticking his
I didn't know
his
that.
big mouth.
I didn't know
yes,
that.
It was.
Doug, what is your comment, sir, Doug?
Well, Tom, I was listening to this guy, Dave from Florida, and just a quick research just proves everything pretty much that he's saying. Florida's not peaches and creams like he thinks it is.
Well, it is on a downtrend right now. It is pretty low right now.
No, and their economy's killing it.
No, but right now, Doug, listen, I don't have a dog in the fight, but they are in a downward trend right now.
Well, the whole country is, but it's just, there's a lot of not substantiated facts going on here from some of these people that are talking today.
So what point do you want to make? What point do you want to make?
I just think that some people need to be checking facts and just not jumping on the radio and saying, "Oh, I read an article and this, that, and the other thing." Let's do a little bit better fact checking here.
Now,
hold
on. I compared New York to Florida, and they're right now about the same. He's right. There's a downward trend on a lot of the states I'm checking. But I want to ask you your opinion first, Doug. Where do you stand? Because I always tell people where I stand so I don't sneak up on them. Where do you stand? Do you think we should be mandating vaccines?
I don't think we should mandate anything, but we also mandated the polio vaccine.
Yeah, so I'm asking you, should we mandate the COVID vaccine?
I have no opinion on that, Tom.
Okay.
I can't give you an opinion because I'm the one I got it when there was no mandate. So, if they forced me to get it now, I'm not sure I would.
Okay, tell me now, what do you think about... Well, I just asked about mandates and that, okay. And again, what about young people vaccines?
Well, I think that they should probably do that just because kids, they're full of snot. They're rubbing it off on everybody.
Now, do you think...
Stuff gets transferred around.
But you do agree, though, now again, if you did your research, you also heard that the unvaccinated spread the virus just as much as the vaccinated.
I haven't heard that.
Well, look, I looked it right up today.
I will do some research and check it out.
Just, Doug, you Google it as soon as you get off the phone. I swear to God, that's the whole idea of mandating and social distancing, and Fauci saying we're not yet ready to have families get together. Fauci said that on a day I was watching football fields filled to the capacity. He's saying, well, we're not sure we can get together for Thanksgiving and Christmas or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. I'm going to have 5 or 10 people at my house, and that's more dangerous than there at Mile High Stadium. What, are you kidding me? It's just ridiculous. We got to 303-713-TALK. Yes, the vaccinated can spread just like unvaccinated. Infected people spread more. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so I called this guy David. He said he's spoken to you before.
David, on which one?
On the woman who didn't pay, the guy who didn't pay his employee.
Oh, David talked to me?
I think he said he's called in the past.
What about him?
Anyway, he said, I want to talk to you. He started to talk to me. There was a belligerent customer at his store, and the police just got there.
Okay. So he'll come on the air? Tell him I'll treat him fairly.
I will tell him.
I want to know why, if a woman works fucking 1,000 hours,
You just go to the labor board.
He was quite willing to talk.
That's easy. You just fucking hammer the guy.
I know, but first let's get him on the radio.
Usually somebody who's quite willing to talk, there's another side to
Yeah, but the point is, though, he hasn't paid her, and it really doesn't fucking matter.
I know, but don't you...
Not only that, he's not paying any payroll taxes. He's paying her through what, Venmo?
I got it. How much time do I have? I should have asked. I should have ran.
But Mark, don't you find that people are willing to talk? Usually there's another side to the story.
Oh, there's definitely going to be another side.
Right.
Solid fact without the opinion.
I do those. I'm sorry. I'll do those and run. All right.
So, I'll make one comment.
All right, let's talk about Fix It 24/7. For $39, you can get them to your home right now. And here's why I say to get them to your home. They have, for new customers or customers that have never done this, a $39 furnace clean and check and adjust. Why would you do that? They will, honest to God, take that furnace apart to the extent they can. They take out the blower motor. They look at the burners. They make adjustments. And it's all for $39. Now, if they find a problem, here's the good news. You're not under any pressure. Because they will tell you the truth. You can shop if you want. Do it now before the cold comes. $39. FixMyHome.com. 720-526-3939. Now, let's talk about Sheridan Auto Tech. Why do I love Sheridan? They have everything you want in automobile repair facilities. And when I say everything, I mean everything. For example, they have experience, value, quality. They have a track record. They have happy customers. We really love Sheridan Auto Tech, and you will too. 303-455-7242. He has an electrical division as well, so you can go for your electrical repairs or normal maintenance or repairs, both heavy and light. 303-455-7242. Solar is a big deal still because you still get the government subsidies and credits, but what you have to do is get the right company. Genesis, Total Exteriors, you know we love them. Well, they have a solar division. In fact, it's a separate company, but owned by Mark, and it's GenesisSolarCO.com. 20 minutes they'll take to see if you're a good candidate, and they don't even have to be on site. Call for your 20-minute site evaluation. They'll give you results. If you are a good candidate, they'll guarantee the savings. They'll guarantee the production. They'll guarantee the components. All 25 years. 303-474-4317. You don't do better than GenesisSolarCO.com. 474-4317.
Greenberry.
Oh, so I'm talking about one comment there. People keep comparing it to the polio vaccine.
Yeah. Polio wasn't contagious, was it?
No, but
was it?
Yeah.
It was.
It's a virus. No, it wasn't contagious, but you can't compare it. People were dying to get the vaccine.
I know.
Because it was
were lined up.
It was killing their kids.
I know.
You couldn't keep them away.
Grainberry cereal with amazing onyx sorghum.
Yeah.
Right?
That stuff is right in your face and up against your...
What's that?
But no, anything that's in your face or up against you like that will cause you to react. Okay?
But the thing with the polio, parents are so afraid because it was getting their kids.
That's what I'm saying. It's right there in their face.
This isn't killing kids.
Well, no, but the point is, you take somebody, you would do anything to protect your kids.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a totally, first of all, it's 50 years ago, there was no internet, and that was it.
People don't know what to believe or who to be truthful, and the longer there is stuff out there.
Look at that Virginia rating.
Yeah, as long as there's stuff out there that's confusing, or people being willfully untruthful, the rest of the folks are just going to become more and more
He was
apathetic.
18% in one state. I forget what state it was.
Who's that?
Biden. 18%. That's not even fucking
goes, what do we get?
What do you mean? Oh, no, that ain't gonna happen. Boy, that would be curious as shit. You'd see the house switch so fast you wouldn't even know what happened.
Hey, Ken, the furniture store guy called.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's online too. I'm not sure if you want to talk to
you know,
him.
yeah. What happened
Did you
was,
leave him our phone number?
I called him from the back office, and then he hung up because he had to take care of something.
Okay.
So
You need to tell him you're calling him right back.
ask him if ask him, or he either go on the air or I'll call him back. His job.
Hopefully I'll be around long enough for you to come back.
You should compare a reverse mortgage to that product he has at some point.
Yeah.
Just the literal and crunching of the numbers.
Yeah, I kind of get it. I like it. I think it's really
One of the advantages over reverse, it gives you 80% instead of 50 or 60. So you have more cash available. Because we have customers who are doing this converted to a reverse. They'll just not put money in to take money out.
That's like hitting a hole in one without even trying.
You already paid for the equity once, you don't have to pay for it twice.
Mine.
What's in your
Let's
see. Family 1211, 3 siblings on an 8-day, 15-state AK-47 wheeling.
Kill the mic for a minute.
Introducing the Docker you get.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. We are here to help you solve problems, to answer questions, to take complaints, and make your life just a little easier. And right now, I'm going to go to Steve Moss. Steve, I wish you would call earlier in the show so I could talk to you more. You're the one that created so many jingles. If I sung them, you'd know about them. But you did our intro song using ZZ Top's song and a sharp-dressed man. So, Steve, what did you want to talk about?
Well, Tom, first of all, I apologize about when I call. I just wear so many hats. I kind of grab the phone.
And by the way, you can call again, but I want to talk about your brewery. What's going on with it? Mark loves microbreweries, by the way.
Okay, well, the name of my brewery is Rock and Roll Brewery, and it's the website is rockandroll.beer. So it's not .com, it's rockandroll.beer. A couple nice things we're doing. We're in Daveco now. If people want to try my beer out, go to Daveco Liquors in Thornton and look for Backstage Bond, Summer Wheat, Zombie Jam, Blood Red IPA, and Purple Rush.
Now, Mark knows a lot about beer, so I'm sure he's going to ask you if you have some of the ones he likes. What are some of the ones you like, Mark, especially?
I like IPAs.
Do you do IPAs?
The IPA, my signature IPA is Zombie Jam. Now that it's not going to taste like you know how the average IPA in America did this. It's not the old English way. There's sort of this piney pine cone citrusy thing, that overpowers everything. I never make them like that. Mine is an old English, pure way, high gravity beer, which means it's pretty high in alcohol, 8.2%. I don't call it a double. And I just put a lot of malt in it and a lot of hops in it, 5 different varieties of each. So it's a real splash malt in your mouth when you first take a drink, and the hops just take over after that.
I'm getting thirsty.
I'm never going to do that piney thing.
Here, because we're running out of time, and you can call in again anytime.
You should come in with some samples.
Steve, why don't you do that? Why don't you come in with a tasting sometime? And by the way, let me just say this. Where do people get your beer? Just tell them right now.
Right now, we're self-distributing. We just started distributing cans. Daveco Liquors is the best place right now. We're working deals with other liquor stores as well. So Daveco Liquors in Thornton. Ask for Rock and Roll Brewery products. If they're out of it, ask for the beer manager.
All right, now do me a favor. Give your website.
My website is rockandroll.beer. People can contact me there, and also, if you want to work for me too, I could, have assistant brewers and people go out there helping with distribution.
Good. Rockandroll.beer. Thank you. Kurt Rogers, Affordable Interest Mortgage. So, you got the fix-up loans a lot of people have been emailing me about. I think we hit a nerve on that.
Yes.
Do you like writing those?
Yeah, they're fine. I think they're a great way to improve your home when you don't have the cash because you get future value.
Yeah,
they
appraise off the finished value, put the money in escrow, and then you get to buy the house and fix it up at the same time.
Or refinance your house before you move on to do it. It works.
You can do it with a refi, too?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that another time. So that's Affordable Interest Mortgage, 720-895-0500, AIMortgage.net. Remember, folks, referralist.com. Save all your problems for me.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino. And stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. Michael Brown is next on Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
I'm going to tell you about an unbelievable deal going on right now. In fact, you're going to think it's too good to be true, but it's not. 888heating.com is offering the following. You get a new air conditioner, a new furnace, a whole home humidifier, and 5